Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Gaming After Dark. I am your host, Mr. Boom Boom Kaboom Noof Nukem, and I'm here with the always lovely, energetic, and amazing
Miss Primal Eve.
That's right. She is back like a junkie on crack. She is ready to go, but we have got an amazing panel lined up for you tonight. Before we get to our late edition guests, I want to introduce you guys to someone who I had contact with in the community. I guess was a fan of sort of a bit of my work and this podcast in particular. And again, as you know, we are basically trying out some potential podcast people to see if they might become the famous third wheel here on Gaming After Dark. So breaking his podcast cherry tonight, we want to welcome Yungest.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the invitation, Noob and Eve, and just happy to be here. And let's go. Thank you, and Drago, let's get it.
That's right. All right.
Let's go.
I like it. We're gonna spiff him up here in a second. That's right. Once Primal starts flashing some titties, then yeah, shit's gonna get real.
I'm getting there.
Everybody in that chat, their ears just perked up. They're like, "What? She gonna flash?" I don't think that'll happen on YouTube. Will be will be strike down like immediately. But
Right.
hell, that would be quite the show. That'll be one for the record books. That's for sure.
It can be used for scientific purposes, right?
Yeah, and Youngest, you can turn up your mic a little bit, shade there, Youngest, if you haven't done so already, to say that it's coming through a little bit low. So just crank it up. I don't think I can do that on my end. Let me see.
Right there.
Yeah, you're sounding good.
Okay.
We'll go with that. All right. Generally, people on this podcast can get fairly loud. Speaking of loud and proud, this is the man who definitely, I don't want to take his tagline. He'll do it for you. And here he is, the man of the hour, Mr. Titan Drago.
That's right. I'm here bringing the common back to sense. Let's go.
And God knows we need more sense in the world right now because, man, it is lacking. Holy shit. We ain't lying. Before we dive deep into the topics of this show, and before we get cherry juice all over the place, let's give a big shout out to the amazing chat. Timothy Dixon was the first in the house. That man's always got his Dixon everything, that guy. There you go. Heated Heavy 505, Buck Rogers in the house, Jagged Dog 420, Spider-Man 356. We got people in the triple digits. Right on. We got Juno's 23. He was one of the first people that jumped on our podcast. Did a hell of a great job. Looking forward to have him back at some point. Back from the dead is in the house. Ashtray Gaming, Joe Dunmore, Casket Repair is here. Draven Nero, Cyber Gunters here. BZ McNasty is in the house. Haven't seen BZ in a while. What's up, BZ?
Yeah, BZ.
Yeah. We got ACS Husk is here, the Husk man himself. There we go. We got the panel is lit. This is going to be the shit. Let's drop some bombs. You can tell Noof Nukem has got the piss and vinegar in his blood tonight. Ready to go, baby. So let's start out with my amazing co-host, Primal Eve. Since I talked to your sweet lips last week, what have you been doing?
I've had some like weird ass moments all week, and besides like the gaming wise, I've been on Apex. You guys have probably seen me on. I'm like so dick deep into trying to catch up for this season of Apex, but just like I don't know. So far this week, I realize how awkward I am when it comes to dating or anybody asking me out. At work, I was helping somebody out, and I guess I did such a good job. He asked me out. And for some reason, my first response was, "I'm sorry, I'm too tired to date right now." And then I realized what I said afterwards. I'm like, wow, I'm an asshole.
Too tired.
Right. And then today, I spent an amazing 3 hours in urgent care because I sprained my pinky. And it's unfortunate because I always thought,
Jesus, are you that tight down below?
That's what I'm saying. Like, unfortunately, if I could have sprained it, it would have been by touching myself. But my dumbass got my finger caught in a handle. So now I have a severely sprained pinky. And it's pissing me off. I have work restriction for a week, and they told me I can't type or do anything repetitively. My job is 90% typing.
So no, you're not taking 5 fingers anytime soon. There you go.
I could barely fit 2. But no, so far it's just been like some just random little things here and there have been going on. Someone stole my trash can. I have a lot of I have a lot of shit in my life. I have a lot of personal
Trash
stuff
can.
and everything. But like, come on, all these little things.
Would you have like a special like Gears of War trash can outside, real
Right?
special, or what?
No, I got
Huh?
so pissed off because the restaurant that sorry, I'm totally rambling, but the restaurant that I live above, they put their fucking bag of like rotten dough. I got so pissed off. I took that shit and I put it at their door. And then I wrote all over my trash can, do not use, do not touch. And they obviously don't get the hint.
You just gave me a great idea for a $1 million selling trash can idea. You know what it would be?
What?
If you get like the metal trash cans, the typical ones, and when you go to open the lid, literally the top of the lid would open up separately, and fucking Oscar the Grouch would pop up. Wouldn't that be fucking awesome?
Oh man, I'm sure they'd still steal that shit, bastards.
They would steal that shit. Somebody would steal that for sure. Shit, be like, I want that Oscar the Grouch trash can. So you've been playing lots of Apex. I see that. Let's get over to our special guest of the evening, making his first ever podcast appearance. I guarantee it probably won't be his last. We got Yungest. So Yungest, tell us first about a little bit about yourself. I mean, kind of where you're from, how long you've been into gaming, all that stuff, and what games are keeping you busy these days.
Well, I had to go back to Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I had to finish up all those little question marks that I left from when it was 2018. So I went back to play that game, and I just can't get away from it right now. It's got me synced in, and that's what I've been playing lately.
You better not get me back in that game.
It's just so much. I thought I'll finish it 40 hours in, 50 hours in. I'm up to 80 hours in, and I'm still not done. So that's the game that's caught my attention. But also, it's back and forth. With all this going on, this pandemic going on, I've been having to work extra hours and come back to gaming and family, the kids, and they want to take me off the Xbox and Dad, let's play this, Dad, let's play that. So, but everything's been good so far, and let's get it. Let's keep playing these things.
So
Dude,
you're
that's excellent. That's the mark of a good game, ain't it? Like the hours played, the absolute hours played. That's one reason why I was really mad that didn't win Game of the Year, because I knew it was going to be a contender, and there ain't no way you're putting that nowhere near that many hours into God of War.
Right.
I can't stand it.
I'm checking my hours right now as you speak. That's actually the other game. I got 9 days, 19 hours, and 26 minutes in this so
Apex
far,
Legends.
and I still got to do not Apex, Assassin's Creed.
Oh, Assassin's Creed.
I don't even want to look at Apex right now. It's probably hurt.
It's a huge game. It does get repetitive after a while, but I enjoy it. I mean, I'll cut, slash, and bash everyone around and try to get those upgrades.
Yeah, I am done with Assassin's Creed till either one, they make a 1980s ninja-based Assassin's Creed, or they go back to the linear format, which something tells me they're not going to, because I'm done with open-world AC Creeds, man. They're just not driving with me.
Was it the scope of the game that got you?
It's just I just find them too distracting and too dull. I mean, I played and beat Origins, and it took everything in me to fucking get through that game. But this Odyssey just feels like it's like fucking. I just feel like I'm getting nowhere. Like I'm just doing the same shit over and over again. So. Too much sailing, too much riding horses, to me, Assassin's Creed, to me, when I think about the franchise, I go right back to number one, and that's the original AC with the Templars and Altair. That was a cool game for me. I know, like if they remade that today with better mechanics and stuff, and it would be just absolutely dynamite, but that was my Assassin's Creed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, dude. And I'm hoping that the Vikings game is like just a cut and paste. I don't think it will be, but that's what I want. I want it to be a cut and paste of AC of.
Like someone said the other day, it looks like a knockoff of The Witcher 3, which I suppose flattery is the best form of imitation, is the best form of flattery. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Drago, the thing about that, if it's the same cut and paste game, I don't think I'll get into it, because I am feeling kind of 80 hours into this game, and I still have ways to go. I don't think I'll get into the Valhalla.
Maybe it is better for them to like chop it up with an old school one right after it. That's a good point.
All right, what have you been up to, Mr. Titan Drago? Probably laying the smackdown on Warzone, I'm sure.
For sure. And then my other big one is I beat all 3 bosses in Stranded Deep. And I was just telling Doggy Dog in the chat earlier, man. You got to beat these 3 bosses, and then you can like basically get you basically have the stuff you need to escape, right, and beat the game. And I had all these materials and stuff like food, water, because you need food, water, and one other thing. But I had all that in like 2 different boxes, so I was just gonna like pack it up and beat the game, and I can't find my 2 boxes. I left all my mats in.
Yeah, I see. How is that game? Like, is it pretty good? I saw a little bit of video of it, and the graphic kind of reminded me of a Sea of Thieves kind of deal. But it's like a survival game. It's sort of like a game version of that movie with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, exactly. It even has Wilson in it from the movie.
Really?
It's an achievement when you find him.
Nice.
Oh.
And I was talking to someone on Twitter yesterday, and they were like, I beat the game with Wilson in my inventory. I was like, I lost Wilson. He was addicted to me anyways.
Sorry, man. Since the COVID quarantine, my gut's gotten so big most days I can barely find my own balls, let alone Wilson on a beach in a video game. All right, yeah, we got some people in the chat here. We got Loon Smile is in the house. What's up, man? Heated Heavy, Doggy Dog, Jay Slayer, Jay. We got a lot of AC Odyssey fans punching some real clock hours in here. Primal is like 470. Is 475?
Yes.
Wow.
Dang. And who else said 197 for Juno's? Like, Jesus, that's a lot of hours, man. 72 hours Heated Heavy. So, yeah, everybody's up there.
And I'm still not done. I still have to do the DLC.
Holy shit. You've done everything but get nasty with the which character did you pick in it, the girl or the guy?
Cassandra, dude. I want her to fuck everything possible. And one of the best moments when my daughter walked in during a romance scene, and it was so awesome because Cassandra picked up the dude and she was the one that was like in charge. It was so awesome. My daughter Eris just looked at it and then she just walked right back out. Sorry, kid.
No doubt, eh? Jeez.
My boys are at that age. My boys are at that age where they hate everything kissing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they're preteen. The hormones have not kicked in quite yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like back in the day when you got to that age, you were always rifling through the Sears catalogs looking at the bra section, and now we don't have catalogs anymore. But then again, mind you can pretty much go see any type of tit you want on the internet. So
I know. I feel like I finished porn. Like there's nothing that I haven't seen. Like just doesn't do it for me.
Achievement unlocked for
right,
Primal.
exactly. I completed pornography.
Yeah. And once the girl said, I'm going to show you my tits. And I said, well, yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but I don't think I'll be able to get back up off the floor.
What, the tits or?
Oh, fuck. All right. Yeah. Bruising your kneecaps, swinging back and forth. All right.
I'm going to pop open another beer for this conversation.
Beer sounds good. That's right. You better prepare. I warned
Love
Yungest
it.
before we went. Yungest
every time I see, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like every time I see Titan's logo, I hear it. It's not something I just see.
I was telling Yungest before we went to Aries because his kids were excited. He's doing a podcast, and I said, "Dude, well, I hope you better warn your kids because they're going to be wanting to hear this shit." And I said, "We get a little bit nasty in here sometimes." So
yeah, just a little bit, not too bad, huh?
It's only early in the show, yeah. Hey, Brian F, what's up, brother? How you doing? All right, so let's get into some topics. And we're going to start with our guest tonight on the first topic, and that is about the Xbox show. We knew for a while it was coming. Xbox hasn't really had their E3. They had that little teaser, I guess you could say, back in May, but now this looks like the full enchilada. This is the one that has everybody sort of, getting excited for. It drops on June 23rd. I think it is at 9 a.m. Pacific time, if I'm correct. That would be 10 Mountain time and around lunchtime Eastern time zone. And it is supposed to be the big show. Now, if you guys caught it, kind of been going around. Alana, if you guys know her, Alana or whatever, former IGN, she basically said that Fable is like 100% guaranteed. Like that game exists. She doesn't know for sure if they'll show it. I would assume they will, but I know that's a game that fans have been clamoring for. So anyway, the show is scheduled for the 23rd of July, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. Youngest, tell me about your anticipation or excitement or lack thereof of it, because I don't know with you yet if you're more of a PlayStation guy, if you're an Xbox guy, or maybe you're just a neutral style gamer, although I don't think there's any such thing as a true neutral. Everybody has a preference, but well, first I'll start with that. Are you more of an Xbox, PlayStation guy, Nintendo guy, and what do you think of the Xbox show? Are you excited or not?
I'm more of an Xbox guy. I've kind of, like I was mentioning before we got started, I've started playing the NES when I was about 5-6 years old, and ever since I've owned pretty much every system. But once that Xbox came out, well, back in early 2000, I just got hooked. Master Chief, that won me over, right? So I still play everything. I own every console that comes out. I'll buy the PS5. I mean, get 3 Xboxes, whatever, but I do the work.
Money, no object, or what? Let's just get them all.
Let's just get them all and start playing games. But yeah, this is what I've been, as a Xbox fan, this is what I've been waiting for the past 4 years. Right. I mean, this is it. There's been so much build up every E3. It's okay. Let's see what Xbox is gonna do, and they kind of fall short. They started buying new developers, and this is it. Show me what you've been doing all these years. Convince me why I should continue on this Xbox platform.
So is there anything that you know about on this show, or at least excited? Because I think it's a given that we're going to see, well, hopefully a shit ton of Halo Infinite. How excited are you for that game? And what do you think of the prospect of Fable coming back?
I love Fable. Played it since, growing up, right? And I'm really excited about the new Fable. Alana, you were saying that she confirmed it. It's 100% on there, coming out on the 20. They'll show something on the 23rd, and I think a lot of other podcasts have been saying that for a while. But I'm very excited for that. I'm excited for Halo. I'm also really excited for the initiative. I really want to know what they're bringing to the table. They've been talking this hype about quadruple A studio. So now's the time to show me as a gamer what's going on. What is it? The Perfect Dark? I never really got into Perfect Dark when it was on the N64. But if it's a remake and they do something fun with it, I'm go. I'll get into that game. But I really would prefer a new IP. If they show us a new IP, and I'm ready to give it a go. Let's see. But as far as what I expect, I want to see that 4K 60 frames per second.
Nice.
That gameplay. Show me that gameplay. Right. It's too many of this. Go ahead.
So what you're telling me overall, though, my friend, is that you're on like Cheech and Chong level high for this event, right?
I'm excited. There's no reason why Xbox should hold back anything now. It's now
Agreed.
Or never. It's now or never. The
time for talk is over. It's time to lay them down, right?
Exactly. And if show me that gameplay, but in case you don't have that gameplay, at least show me what you're working, that roadmap that you're working down 2-3 years from now, why I should invest in this new system, right?
All right. Nice. Very good. Very good. Before we get to Mr. Titan Testosterone, let's get over to Primal Eve. Primal, bless us with your presence and let us know, how excited are you for this event? We probably talked about this before. I'd say it's pretty high. Let us know. What are you excited for? What do you expect? And it's about time to announce this shit. And are you ready for some Halo action?
I'm very ready. I am so ready. This is what I've been waiting for while all of you guys were talking your specs and shit and stuff and whatever. I'm like, give me the games. Give me the games. That this is the most important part for me. Fable is going to be definitely a huge highlight for me. I absolutely love the game. When I first got into Xbox, it was mostly for Halo, and my background is mostly RPGs, action RPGs. So when I played Fable on the Xbox, this was like, wow, like they can actually do this too, besides just having shooters. So this was like a huge turnaround for me, and I absolutely love the Fable series. Halo, of course, who isn't excited for Halo? It's Halo. That enough. That's all I have to say about Halo. It's Halo. But no, Phil really needs to actually, show us what you have now. Everything that you invested in, everything that you've been telling us about, and all these developers and stuff like that. Like, show me the games. Like I want to see them. I'm ready. Definitely, new IPs are so important. And a lot of people have been saying that, and it's a huge deal between Sony and Microsoft about, all the original IPs. It is important, but me as a gamer, I'm going to play whatever. I'll play on a fucking mini screen on a dick if it has a great game, give it to me.
Did you say mini screen on a dick?
A mini screen on a dick. In HD or 4K.
Sounds like a great sex toy.
Right? Yeah, I'd use it.
What like cell phone apparatus you put around the old knob of your dick? Just like,
Do you want it in 30 frames or 60 frames?
Right? Oh, shit. I don't know if I can handle 60 frames, but I do it anyway. But no, yeah, this is their time to shine. Sony had their moment, and then this is going to be their response to what Sony has shown us already. So they have to go above and beyond. They have to give us the surprises. I'm tired of seeing the same shit over and over and over again. I get it. Everybody's excited for the shit that we already know that's coming out. Show me something new to be excited for. Yeah, that's what I want.
Well, I think that's largely why we haven't seen a lot of games from Microsoft in the last few years, because they just skipped the end of the fucking Xbox One generation and said, you know what? Fuck it. It's pointless. Let's gear up. Let's get this shit ready for the next gen hardware, and let's pump it up. Before we get over to Titan Drago, let's catch back up with the chat because Dreadpool is on us. He's in the house. Dreadpool, what's up, man? Death Mobile, what's going on, brother? Haven't seen you in like forever. Hope you're doing well, my friend. We got Matt RC, who's loving the show. Thanks for being here, Matt. Greatly appreciated. Logic Wins is in the house. We've also got Infinite is here, and we've got Mr. Saltman himself, Salty's Gaming, and he was just saying that his girl is about ready to turn like a year old. Like, holy shit!
Isn't that fucking nuts?
I know.
I felt like that she just had the baby.
I remember when he was saying, "I got good news, guys. My wife is pregnant," and I'm like, and it feels like yesterday. And 1 year, like, man, you're making me feel like an old geezer here. Like, what the fuck?
Right?
Holy shit, man! Oh man. Where does the time go? Oh, right? Man. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm glad Salty's here. It keeps all the demons away, right? Puts a little salt trail around the podcast show here. Keeps the demons up. The Salty Circle. There you go.
Yeah.
Sounds like a little spin-off show for you there, Salt. The Salt Circle. Or the Circle of Salt. I like that.
Oh, man.
Salt. There you go. You just get some new podcast members in there. The Circle of Salt. And go for it. Matt Burns in the house. Matt Burns, my fucking Dead Space 3 brother right there. Yeah, we got to finish that shit, Matt. We're going to get through that probably this week. Hopefully, we'll see. Titan Drago, baby. The moment is upon us. I want you to weigh on in this sucker. Lay it down for me, bro. What does Microsoft got a brain to get your dick in a fucking knot?
Well, I think people, like, people have been so worried and held back expectations for so long that I see a lot of people on Twitter and stuff saying, "Oh, well, I'm holding my expectations back," because they watched so many inside Xboxes that didn't live up to their ridiculous expectations. But this is not the show to do that with. This is the show. This is the whole kit and caboodle. You'll either like this show, love it, or use this show as the dipstick, the measurement to realize that, hey, you're not an Xbox fan. If this show doesn't, move your needle, just take that as you're not an Xbox fan. Then you can move on. Then you can, have this realization moment and then move on and don't be a douche to those people that like or love it, right? Because that's the big part about it, is all these people that are just, God, I hate these people on Twitter that just dump on everyone's excitement, and someone says something positive and there's 10 clowns in the chat saying,
if you listen closely, you can already hear the hate train ready to leave the station.
Oh yeah, man! On that, when Xbox made that post on Twitter, like you see the usual clowns in there, and oh my god, I want to punch them in the face. I really do. I want to find them and punch them. But as far as Fable, I've been waiting for Fable for years. Like this is the worst. It's the worst kept secret in gaming for I don't know how long, and I don't know how long it took. Like, why did it take so long for someone like Alana Pierce to like man up, grab her balls, and say it's real? It's 100%. Why is a girl doing this and not a man? You know, like I don't get it.
Why is anybody doing it that's not Microsoft? Like, come on, it's the worst kept secret in the world, right?
Like you got old Greenberg over there, like, oh well, the Twitter site is just a placeholder, and like, man, I can't stand that dude. Why is the marketing leader not hyping this game up? Like, that's your job. He is the worst at his job, I swear. Every time this guy comes up, I have something wrong with the way he handles his business. That's just a personal problem, though.
Well, maybe they can come up with their own fast food chain and call it Aaron's Greenburgers. How about that? And he could run it.
He'd do 1,000 times better job doing that. I guarantee it.
Atlanta balls. Let's catch up with the chat real quick, and I'll get you to finish that off. JD Gamer dropping $2 in the super chat. Hey, panel, what are your thoughts on Microsoft possibly buying Warner Brothers? Because we don't know that they are. There is that rumor circulating around, maybe more than a rumor, but we'll get to that in a bit, JD. But thanks for the $2. Freddie Fox in the house. What's happening, Freddie Fox? Who else did I miss here as we're scrolling on by? Slinky M. What's happening? Slinky. Welcome to the show. And we got JS Wolves 510, or maybe it's just Jay Swoles. I don't know. Maybe something is swollen. We're here with Primal, so everything gets swollen when she's here. Go ahead, Titan. Finish that thought, brother. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, it's all right. My last thing is like, this one's like a little iffy because I don't care for like when people, I just don't like the entitlement, right? Like I don't like it when people say I need this, this, and this, and if they don't do it, then Xbox sucks. I can't stand that, and that's not saying I'm not talking about what like Primal Eve said, like she wants something new. Like I think all of us, you know, somewhere along the line want something new along the line, but there's the definite, you know, common sense line that you cross, you know, like, and that's what I'm talking about. When people cross that line of entitlement, like going back into that, you know, chick streamer again, like, you guys gotta pay me, you know,
right,
stuff like that.
Well, look, I'm not going to take up too much time on this because we don't know what's coming for sure, but we do know that Halo Infinite is going to be there, and that's all I need. Look, Halo. Do I need to say more? It is Xbox's biggest, most recognized IP of anything they have. It's Halo, people. If that's not enough to get you excited, then I guess you're just not an Xbox fan, because Xbox has always been, since day one, pretty much, you know, the Halo box. It's Halo, it's Master Chief. He's back looking better than ever. Let's hope, you know, for Salty's sake, that they fixed up the crackhead looking dude and have maybe some better faces and better animation. But I think what you're going to see with Halo overall, though, is I think you're going to see a lot of amazing special effects that this Slipstream engine is basically going to bring us on new hardware. I think you're really going to see it shine if you're going up and buying your Xbox Series X. If you're not, it's still going to be a fantastic game, but I think it's really going to push hardware crazy. I mean, that alone, it gets me excited. Like I said, if Fable's there, I'm already excited. So bang, bang, we already got two bangers as far as I'm concerned that I'm excited for. If they drop at least one or two more, you know, like I said, we see what the initiative's got up their sleeve, and it looks really cool, and hopefully it's not like fucking 10 years out, but I definitely think they need to show it. We know Hellblade will probably be there at some capacity because they've already showed some of it. Right. So like already, you know, 4 or 5 games in, we've already got some, I guess, bona fide stars of the show. You're gonna get your filler. You're gonna get stuff in there as well that nobody gives a shit about, just like Sony's show with Bug Snacks. Well, there might be a few people. I mean, hell, you know, as bad as Bug Snacks is, I've heard more people bring up fucking Bug Snacks than I heard about any other game that was showed off. So it did something right. It's getting hype, whether it's good hype or bad hype. People are excited about strawberries with wiener hands. So yeah, look, I'm excited for Xbox show.
Well, one thing, and you know, they haven't had historically is like those mic drop moments, and one of those is potentially, I'm sure you've seen it, is the tweet about the big third party to be announced game for Game Pass that's going to be announced at the show. Now, and rumored to be Cyberpunk. Like, man, if that is Cyberpunk, and if Cyberpunk is, and it said shortly after release, so I don't know what that means. Hopefully, they release Cyberpunk before the next gen systems, and then like maybe as soon as the next gen systems comes out, boom, Cyberpunk is on Game Pass for that. Like, you know,
so smart.
God, that would be so ridiculous, man.
And it's funny you bring it up, Drago, but doesn't Warner Brothers, they distribute Cyberpunk, not publish like The Witcher 3, but I thought I read some about the sale and that Warner Brothers does part of the distribution for CD Projekt Red. It's just something I read.
I don't know about that. That's you've seen that somewhere
right now.
That's something
I don't think so, but I do think Warner Brothers did publish The Witcher 3. Am I correct?
Yeah, they did publish Witcher 3, but not Cyberpunk, right? Which is obvious. But
They're
I think
listed.
they do help with the distribution.
Yeah,
they are listed as a Warner Brothers, isn't it?
Well, save lots of your fucking thoughts, because I think it'll be one of our biggest topics of the night as we talk about the possible, again, quote, possible acquisition of Warner Brother Games and what that could mean for everybody, not just Microsoft itself. We're going to get to that in a bit, so hang on to your assholes. Youngest, how's your asshole feeling right now, man? You still grooving?
It's raw.
It's raw already? Alrighty. Woo! We got amazing chat here, that's for sure. Axel1324 is in the house. What's happening, Axel? Glad you can be here, brother. Alrighty. Holy shit. I think JD Gamer just dropped another $10 super chat. He says, I'm not going to temper expectations for the July 23rd event. I'm going to get hype. What about you folks? Are there any games that you expect but aren't really expecting? Yeah, I think we're all damn freaking hyped. There's no question about that. And I'm not going to make excuses if it's a lame show. I really don't think. I mean, I think the last couple of years that we saw Microsoft show, they were solid. They were good. You know, they, like I said, they're doing a lot of things right. They finally fixed the hardware problems they've had. They finally got lots of studios now. So the last couple of years have been a build. It's been a build. It's like a tease, right? It's kind of like that girl taking down the zipper so far, getting you all ready to go. But then the moment you get ready to have a sniff, whiff, and take a pic, she up goes the pants. Up goes the pants, and you're back, and you're blue balling it the rest of the way. Well, I think blue ball time is over. I think we're now going to be able to whip that sucker fully out and let go. Let's hope so anyway. I think it's going to be a great show. I really do. I think they've got enough to get fans excited for this year and the next couple of years to come, making us moist, I'm telling you. All right, what's going on, Xbox Gamer Trev? How you doing, brother? But yeah, so I'm excited. I think everybody's excited. Anything less than like a fucking banger show, and like doesn't mean that they can't have some lulls in there, but it's got to be quick. It's got to be like to the point. Get your games. Maybe if they drop the Lockhart information somewhere at the beginning or the middle or probably the end, I'm sure they will probably say something about Lockhart at this fucking point in time, if it exists. If it doesn't, what the fuck it's running, all that good shit. But I think we're pretty excited. And yeah, like you said, guys, if Cyberpunk does drop like day and date fucking with Game Pass, that would be absolutely huge. There's no question about that. So panel, he says, JD again with another $10 super chat. Whoa, JD, man, you ran into some bucks, brother. Member by member, what are your mic drop moments? For this event, what would be a mic drop moment? All right, so let's start with our guest, Youngest. What would be a mic drop moment for you if there could be anything? What would you say?
Oh man, who are you gonna go first on this?
I said Youngest. Youngest can have at her first. He's the new guy on the block.
Good, because I need to think.
See, when you say youngest, I don't know if you mean age. Well, I gotta get used to that. My bad.
I mean, with all this WB acquisition, if they were able to pull that off and just at the end announce that, and just Phil Spencer mic drops that shit, I'd be happy, really happy. You know, that would be
huge. Yeah, that'd be huge, and we'll elaborate on that too, like I said, when we come back to it. So, because we do have that topic. So, Primal.
Fuck.
No, they haven't announced that game. It's not coming out yet.
I'm pre-ordering that shit, paid off, fucking ready to go. Day one, midnight.
Imagine trying to market a game that's called Fuck. I can already see the social justice warriors right now.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, sensitive people, knock your shit off. You're ruining everybody else's
You can't sell a game named Fuck.
I don't. If Alana didn't say anything about Fable and they actually showed Fable with gameplay, and just like all the extra details, that'd be wonderful. That would be my mic drop moment. I don't know at this point. I'm kind of like, I don't know what would excite me anymore.
Right.
Man, there's so many for me. I'm taking over.
Yeah, you go.
I mean, show us what the Slip Space engine is capable of with the, a next gen look at the gameplay of Halo, man. That would be a mic drop moment. Like I said, like the Fable, like you said, the Fable, anything Fable, a gameplay or a release date, that would be a huge moment. What else? What else did I say? What did I say earlier? That would be the Cyberpunk on Game Pass. How about the multitude of acquisitions that they've made? I know they've made at least 1 or 2 acquisitions. Maybe the WB thing that's later. I mean, there's so many possibilities for mic drop moments, and like the haters want to say it's going to be Battletoads, but that ain't going to be it.
No, definitely not Battletoads, that's for sure. For me, the mic drop moment, honestly, it's already, as long as like Halo comes out and it just kills it. You know what I mean? Like, it leaves me with my jaw on the floor. That in itself would be a mic drop moment. One
more.
Yeah, go ahead.
What the initiative is freaking working on, man.
Yeah.
Show some crap about. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot about the initiative.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know anything about
Doggy Dog in the chat, free Xbox Live, or perhaps even the announcing that they're finally. Well, this wouldn't be a mic drop, but at least announcing the paywall is dropped for free to play games. That would be at least a step in the right direction. Xbox Live free could be fantastic. Like the Warner Brothers, if they do announce that they have bought them out, that would be huge. But what would be fantastic is if and this is not going to happen because. But like I'm going to leave it for the Warner Brothers thing because I want to save my ideas because I definitely want to chime in bigger than this one, so save it for a bit. So yeah, there could be I know I've been drinking some Monster Energy drink here. I got lots of gas.
No man, it comes out. You can't stop it, man. I know it is age.
Yeah, they will. I know, man. That's how many farts just slip through the cracks right now. Like, pardon the pun, right? Pardon the pun. It's out my buns. Best farts ever, man, is going to Walmart somewhere down an aisle and fart and let a nasty one go and watch the senior citizens walk through that dust cloud and you're like, what the fuck? Somebody shit themselves, That's hilarious. Yeah. So there's lots to look forward to.
Just to clarify, I said Warner Brothers distribution, not publisher, because I see a lot of people in the chat saying this not a publisher. I said distribution, which is different.
Yes. Well, according to Spider-Man in the chat, CD Projekt Red is basically putting it out themselves. Death Mobile says that Warner Brothers will publish the disc copies, the physical copies. So, yeah. Joe Dummer says an Oculus partnership that could be big. VR finally coming to Xbox.
Good one.
So Shinsia's in the chat. What's going on? He's excited for Hellblade 2, Fable, obviously. If they make a Japanese studio or they announce that they've opened a Japanese, there's so many different things. It's always fun to speculate, but that's where we overhype ourselves. We overhype ourselves a lot of times on speculation that isn't there. That's largely due to social media, YouTubers. Like myself, I'm guilty of it too. We have a bit of fun with it sometimes, and of course, shit gets blown out of proportion. And you go, well, we set ourselves up to fail. But that's good. We're excited, definitely, and we're going to come back and talk about some stuff a little bit more, a little bit later on. So let's get
one more thing real quick for me.
One more thing.
One more.
One more.
With these video, and it's going to become more prevalent, as long as we're on lockdown, this and that, or some whatever we're on right now. With yeah, right. Like some people are locked down, some people don't give a fuck. Anyways, with the videos and stuff, if they don't nail this online video, like Xbox really needs to start looking at YouTubers like say Dealer Gaming or Colt Eastwood or some like. This needs to be of the highest production value possible that there is. Like, why would, like, I don't understand why whoever made, like, the last one, right? The last one, terrible production value. You got Aaron Greenberg on his freaking 1980 webcam.
Did you see Phil making fun of that after? Something about we're going to have to get Aaron a better camera or something like that. He actually poked fun. It was pretty funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like dude, like this is I'm gonna stop. I've already said it. I assure
you, man. There won't be any refrigerator jokes at this show. Okay, they're. Oh man. Yeah, but I do like at least the fact that Microsoft is aware of different things, and they'll poke fun at themselves and stuff, like very transparent, that sort of stuff. And I have a lot of respect for Aaron Greenberg. Like I don't know what the man does every day to day, so I don't want to sit here and criticize anybody for their job when I don't really know exactly what they do. A lot of us think we know what they do or what they're supposed to do, but I mean, every company is different, and the way companies market today is greatly different from the old days where everything was strictly on TV and in newsprint. Now it's through social media or, we see Spider-Man getting painted on a fucking train and everybody's going fucking nuts over Sony. It's like it's a painting on a fucking train seen by how many people? You know what I mean? But if you get stuff on Facebook, that's fucking huge. It's millions of people. This is where people do advertising now, right? It's you want the greatest audiences. But anyway, we don't want to get off topic. Let's get into the next one. And this one stirred a lot of heat in the community over the last couple of days. People feeling different ways about it. And that is about 2K Games came out and basically said that the next gen NBA 2K games are going to go up by $10. Doesn't sound like a lot theoretically, but for some people, that shit adds up. And it is an NBA game. Like those games, first of all, they don't need, like, they sell themselves. Every year they come out, they sell like hotcakes, are always in the top, 5, 10, whatever. Like 2K is not a company hurting for money. This is a big company that's got billions of dollars, got some of the biggest games on the planet. And yet here they are sort of, I guess you could say, if you want to nickel and diming their consumer. I mean, I'm cool. When a small publisher does it, they do a few microtransactions every there to offset those costs and make some money back, and their games aren't $60, $70, like maybe $30, or they're free to play and they're trying to make a buck somewhere. You can't fault people for that. But when you see this kind of junk, it makes you wonder. Like, I mean, I'm not saying NBA 2K games are bad by any means. They're phenomenal sports games. But like, to me, sports games today, I used to love them back in the day, but they're copy and paste games to me now. They're fucking the easiest fucking games that a dev can make, because how else can you explain how they pump one out year after year? They add 1 or 2 modes, they upgrade the graphics and maybe an area or two, but it's essentially the same fucking shit. Call it the way I see it. And the thing is, it drives me nuts, is fans will still go out. I got guys here in my community. I got friends here. They buy one. I don't know how many friends I got. They either bought an Xbox or bought a PlayStation. The only fucking game they buy for it? NHL. And they got it every fucking year. And I'm like, did you not buy that same game right there? Like, Jesus. Like, I haven't bought one since 2018, and you know what? Fuck you, EA, and fuck all you sports game guys, because you don't do anything innovative with your games anymore. You just push the same shit out and you charge people full price. I told you before, knock it off, make one fucking game at the start of the gen and make upgrades to it and just charge people in fucking small consumptions. People would gladly buy it, and they buy everything, but not this milking it for all this. Anyway, I'm going on a complete rant here because you can tell it just irks the piss out of me.
Rant it on. I like
rants. But anyway, it's all about the price increase. How do you guys feel about it overall? Is it acceptable? I know a lot of people are saying this makes Game Pass look extremely attractive. I'm going to start with my co-host first on this from Primal Eve. How does that extra $10 feel coming out of your back pocket? Is your pockets getting slimmer? Can you pad your bras anymore?
Not for NBA 2K. I can tell you that. No, it's one of those trial and error things, and it kind of brought me back to the day when EA had that online pass for the Xbox 360. So, like, let's say if you bought a game used at GameStop, it didn't have the online pass, so then you had to pay extra money to be able to play with your friends on top of already paying for gold. So it's just one of those trial and error things. I don't really think it's going to be spreading that much, to be honest. But there are those dedicated people who don't give a shit, and they're going to buy it anyway. Do I see it see, but I don't know. People are greedy. No, I'm just thinking about it now. Even then, let's say if it is a whole thing, it's
Right.
an extra $10. Is it really going to stop everybody from playing anything or buying more games?
No.
Probably not. No. So
Wilmy Hood's in the chat. Wilmy says animated sweat costs money to make.
right,
What's
yeah,
up,
that
Wilmy?
shit cracked me up. That oh my god.
It's all about that next gen sweat, baby. You can see it running down the back of their ass crack. You're gonna see the sweat stains in the ass of the shorts.
Yes. Extra $10, I'll throw another 5 down for the extra sweat. No, it's just like it's a trial and error thing. We'll see what happens once it releases and if it does catch on. It's not that big of a deal to me.
Hey, you know what would be worth it? Is if you could fucking have cheerleaders on the sideline. If you shake your controller fucking hard enough, maybe a tit slip will come out the side. $10 right there.
Right?
Pervert noof. I'm terrible. Brutal. But like on a grand scale, like I said, $10. I mean, like I said, it starts to add up. But do you feel differently about it? If it's your favorite game, you're not going to think twice. And like I said, some people, because they love NBA so much, they're not going to think twice. So, like, is it just one of those things? And do you think, obviously, if this works for them, will everybody follow suit, or do you think some publishers will hold back because they know that will make their games more attractive if they keep the prices the same? Primal?
What? No, I'm listening. No, I see I think if it works and they still sell and they still hit like their whole sale point, I honestly see other people following suit. If it works for them, why not try it? It's more money in their pockets. People are greedy no matter what. Right. And like I said before, if it's not going to stop everybody from buying games all of a sudden. Yes, it is going to be more attractive for like a cheaper game, of course, but it's not going to stop us from spending.
How do you took my line?
Well, well, we'll get over the Titan. And the Titan, first of all, if the game is a full price game then, and you're going to charge more for it, do you think it's acceptable for these people then to have the game absolutely loaded up with microtransactions? Because 2K is notorious for these, what do you call it, the VC bucks or whatever you buy, and kids are buying that shit like crazy. The games sell well, but the amount of money these guys are hauling in on the VC dollars after the fact is nuts. I see it all the time. The NHL kids are dropping crazy coin to get these cards, the NHL Ultimate Team cards and all this stuff. So, like, what's your take on it all, Titan?
Well, I'll tell you what, I had a lot to say, but you guys are sure chipping away at it with your taking my.
I'll let you.
On part, it is a big deal because it does add up, like you said, and then sometimes it's not a big deal because it's going to make those smaller titles more appealing, like Primal Eve said. So NBA, with 2K, they make the bank on their microtransactions. Not on they put their game on Game Pass because they want more people to play it because they know people are going to buy their microtransactions. That's why it's on Game Pass.
GTA,
right? It's pretty simple. That's where they make their money. And I know this how because I've played in the playground. I've played in the rec center. I've done the multiplayer. I see all the tattoos and special outfits that people rock in the playground and rec center and more so players shooting in the rec center, like when you're PvPing, people shooting 15 for 15 from the 3-point line, right? Yeah. You're telling me that's natural? I have played 2 full seasons of the game. I haven't skipped a damn game. I made a big, but I'm still missing down low post shots. And these people are just like, it's automatic. Like you're covering them. They're so quick. Like, and then the rec center, it's a problem because they build up their quickness and their shot. And then they just walk around the 3-point line. You can't keep up with them because your guy's like slow, and then it's like an automatic 3. It's like so annoying. Like, who the hell tested this game and didn't see these? It's not fun. It's not real.
You can just kick your ass. It's crazy how much you don't miss. Fuck. Basketball games are not as fun as
I'm talking about real life players.
Yeah. right.
Yeah, it's PvP. Like I've done it all. Like you build your guy up in the single player. That's what I did. I got a 99 overall big, and that does not take an hour to do. Right. and I'm still missing down low shots in the rec center. Like, and these dudes are shooting 15 for 15, 3-point. It just doesn't make sense.
Let me quickly catch up with the chat. JD Gamer dropping another $5. What about $70 smaller next-gen games and $80 massive 80-plus hour experiences, all with no microtransaction? Well, I say that sounds like a pretty good bet, JD. Can't complain with that. Invader is in the house. What's happening? Invader, Colin Stoll, Fable is here. We got Middle-Aged Game Guy. What's happening, Middle-Aged Game Guy? And Jay Slayer, Jay. Everybody's hanging out here, guys. Thank you so much. 41 in the house tonight. That's a nice number. Keep climbing, baby. Keep climbing. Wilmy, how you doing, brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you. All right. Back over to you, Titan. Keep going, man. You're on a roll.
Now, BZ said in the chat, Titan, you sound like me. And it's like, because, man, these are valid complaints, right? No one should ever shoot 15 for 15, especially some scrub, not in the NBA. You know? So, but as far coming back to the price hike of things, I hate it because I don't know what negative or positive way you want to spin this.
I thought you were going to say cheap.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can say that one of a million ways. You can say I'm cheap. I'm trying to save a few bucks for my kids, college tuition in the future. But I mean, I spend a lot of money on games, and I got 2 kids as gamers, and they love to game with me, and like I'm game sharing with them, and like we get new games all the time. Like I wish my parents were freaking as cool as me. Not to sound too big-headed, but man, I remember my dad getting me 1 game when I grew up. 1. I got them more than 1 game in the last couple of days.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
That kind of sucks, but I'll let you take it away. I've said.
Primal, didn't you say you're so tight on money lately that you could put a quarter up your veg and take the paint right off it?
I'll turn that shit into aluminum.
Went in like a quarter, came out like tinfoil. Oh, what's going on? Darko, what's happening, man? Darko Dreamers in the chat. What's happening, dudes? What's happening? JD Gamer drops another $5. JD just going nuts on the super chats tonight, bro. Thank you so much. Adding to the last SC DLC and other things allowed, but no loot boxes and the full game, and everything is available through playing the game for 80. Yeah, I like your ideas, man. That's the way to be, but that ain't the way some of these people are going to play the ball games. That's for sure.
Oh no, they'll take advantage.
Salty says my parents never bought me a video game. Man, now we know why he's called the Saltiest Gamer. Barbie Horse Adventures from Death Mobile. There we go. That sucks, Salty.
I was 1 game away from being the Saltiest Gamer.
Most of my Genesis games were bought by my parents. After the Genesis, I don't know. I played PlayStation 2. My mom, that was the last console my parents bought me, was a PlayStation 2. How about you guys? What was the last console or the first console your parents ever bought you? Anyone?
A Sega.
Shit.
Sega what? Genesis?
Sega Genesis.
That was the first one or the last one?
The cheap one.
The cheap
when
one.
It was on sale.
Fucking discount at like Caldors or something like
that. Not upon release.
How about you, Youngest? What was the last console or the first console your parents bought you?
They got me the Sega Genesis, and then the sad part is that they sold it and kept the money. So.
Oh, damn!
All right, you win.
So I should have been the saltiest, but.
Oh, dude, you must have been pretty bitter at your parents after that one.
I still get them to this day. I said, I tell them, "Where's my money?" But they off like they don't remember.
Oh, sorry.
They were in Newfoundnomics on that one, right?
Yeah.
No shit, eh?
Oh man.
Hope you enjoyed that weed you bought my Genesis money, Mom.
Oh, man.
Oh fuck! Hey, failed pyromancer and Michael Monkey Punch Lugo in the chat. What's going on, brothers? Thanks for being here. Shinsia, he says first one was the NES, last one was the SNES. BZ and Nasty NES with Mario Duck Hunt and Bigfoot Monster Truck game. Nice. Pyromancer, that was the first system, Clico, that your parents bought you. That was our question: is what was the first system your parents bought you? Maybe what was the last one? How about you, Primal? You remember what your parents bought you first or bought you last?
First one was an NES. Last one was a PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2. All right, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
Cold Stone Fable, his parents' first one bottom was Sega Genesis. Last one they bottom was an N64. Man,
I'm waiting for someone to say a 1X, an Xbox 1X.
Yeah,
definitely.
Right? I know.
Like what would you do today? I mean, most of us here were in our late 30s or 40s. If you asked your parents to buy you a console, what would they fucking say though? Like if you actually went up to them and said, "I want this console, would you buy it for me?" Does anybody here have a parent that would still fucking buy him a console?
Fuck.
Dude, it took me 5 years to get my mom to buy my kids some video game stuff for their birthdays. Right. Like I'm over here trying to work for the kids, trying to save me some money. Like, hey, mom, get them some controllers. They love controllers.
Yeah.
How about you, youngest? Think you get held the parents for a new console, or they just look at you funny?
If my kids ask their grandparents, they could probably get anything.
Oh, you get the kids ass. Yeah, smart man. Yeah. The kids. They really want that Xbox One X there.
Right, yeah. Get that shit vicariously through them.
And it's crazy because my mom is like she's like total anti-gamer, like super the religion, like gaming's the devil, this and that, you know. And my wife's mother, she's like an actual saint. She like goes to church all the time, and she's like, "Oh, they want a video game? Here you go."
Well, my mom would probably say something like this. She'd be like, "You know, son, you're 43 years old. Ain't the time that you grown up already? That shit's killing your brain cells." And she'd be like, "I'd rather give you the $500 to put some groceries in your cupboard." I'm like, "Mom, so you'd rather give me $500 to make my fat ass bigger and maybe die of obesity? God damn it!" You know. Yeah, Joe Dunmore. I'm 47. My parents ain't buying me shit. Hey, man, parents can be cool. That's the funny thing. I used to, when I'm working in retail, like fucking people's grandparents are nuts. They just walking in like buying crazy shit for their grandkids. You're just like, holy shit, man, I need grandparents like that.
I know, right?
Damn, right? All the time, like Christmas come, the parents are just standing there like, yeah, we're fucking broke, we're cheap. And the grandparent rolls in, it's like rolling at the cash out of their wallet, just like, here you go.
Yeah, I got you.
I got you. It's good. Yeah, we need those grandparents. People, can we adopt some old rich grandparents, please?
Adopt me.
Right?
Yes.
You know, I'll adopt somebody's old. My grandmothers are dead, so I'll adopt somebody else's old grandmother and tell you, you know what? I'll put some fucking Vaseline on you, twat free if it needs be, but just buy me a console, will ya?
Right.
I'm pretty sure Will Smith's song "Parents Just Don't Understand" had video game undertones to it.
It did. It fucking really did. All right. Let's move along on the other topics. Unless anybody else has anything to say on the game prices going up.
Well, on the game prices, that's.
Oh yes, I don't know. I don't know if I asked you, did I?
Let me get this one too.
Yes, go ahead, man. Take it away.
So on the game prices, I mean, you're talking about Take-Two makes hundreds of millions of dollars per quarter, right?
Yeah.
Just on microtransactions alone. Forget about the game sale.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're trying to charge, and we're talking about Assassin's Creed Odyssey, how it gets repetitive after a while. You're talking about 2K15, 2K16, or FIFA 13, 14, 15. That's repetitive. And now you're going to nickel and dime us for $10 more per game. You know, I completely disagree with that. They already make enough money as it is. It's the same game. Keep the price the same at least, right? You know, but yeah, that's what.
You're right. And how many of these assets that they use are like literally recyclable, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Copy and paste.
Yeah.
Sweat.
Yeah.
They put the same sweat on everyone too.
How much can you make that sweat look better every year?
Yeah, the courts are the same. Right. Like what when like it's the sports games. As I said, I love them. Don't get me wrong. I think sports games are great and they have a place in gaming. But it's just like when you look at a game that uses the same assets and rinse and repeat every year, it's sports games. Like they literally like you know what I mean. And it just of all the games that should be getting cheaper. Yep. And on top of it, if you're a physical connoisseur of sports games, this is the other thing. If you buy your games physically, yes, you can trade them in. But that's what we've also seen. Sports games have the biggest depreciation of any game that you buy. The moment you buy it and the moment it's like a couple of months old, it gets you like next to nothing in the store because those games, like, they can't freaking get rid of them after the season's over because people are on to the next one and nobody really wants the old outdated ones, especially now that the EAs and 2Ks of the world basically stop updating them pretty much when the season is done. It's kind of like, yeah, you want that new roster? $70.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, the extra $10 for the next gen upgrade better be worth it. I better be able to see a significant difference that I can, playing old this gen to the next gen. I better be able to see a huge difference.
Yeah.
But see, that's where you have Xbox trying to do the free upgrade. That's where you're trying to beat that $10. Other companies charging $10 more, and then Xbox you have trying to do the free upgrade, which I think is amazing.
Trying to do the free upgrade, doing Game Pass, like.
Yeah. Well, like I said in the chat earlier, and Tim Dog brought up an RDX was talking about something about microtransactions and the game NBA Playgrounds, right? So the first NBA Playgrounds came out was a massive hit. I think EA had it at the time. I don't know what happened, but they sold it off, and 2K bought it. They made NBA 2 Playgrounds 2, but it was 2K, right? Instead of EA. And I went and picked it up for the Switch. I was like, oh, this would be a great little basketball game to have on my Switch. Yeah, it looked great, but guess what? The game was worse than the cell phone crap. Like there was no players accessible in almost the entire game. It was so bad. Everything was hidden behind a paywall. I'm like, well, I just paid for the game. It wasn't a free to play game. It was a paid game. It was $30-$40, which is enough. And it's like in a half the game was sloppy on a paywall. I'm like, I took it back after a week. I said, fuck this. Like you're not going to con me out of going buying shit in your freaking game. It's enough of that crap. I want players. You at least give me the bulk of them out of the game. You're going to earn one or two here and there, like Legendary Jordan or something like that by playing. I get it, but not the main rosters are locked out. That's so stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
And personally, I feel better if I actually did the work to earn something versus having to pay for it. It's more satisfying for me.
Darko's Dreamer said Titan wants to see their belly buttons. I do.
I tell you, man, if strip clubs work like that and you had to keep tossing out $10 bills to get clothes to fall off, we'd all be the brokest bastards ever. I'm telling you.
Raise it $1 first before you raise it 10.
She takes one swing around the pole. She's like, "That's another $5. Come on, one more swing, another $5." Right?
Noob said that's a lap dance, man. $10.
The only guys that would see pussy at a strip club are extremely rich guys. The rest of us, we'd be all in the back with fucking binoculars, hoping we can see something.
From the nosebleeds.
From the nosebleed section, yeah. Probably would get a nosebleed with some of them. God dang. They got the COVID. Better wipe that pole down. I ain't licking that shit. All right. Woo! All righty. Titan is hilarious. Michael Monkey Punch. Lugo, you got some support in the house, Titan. You got some support. Yeah, the last time Titan was here, too, we had one hell of a show. I think that was the night Primal didn't make it. Wasn't it, Titan?
Yes.
I think it was kind of me. Yeah, with me and you just going one-on-one. It was like a fucking dick tug of war in here.
Oh,
we
man.
duoed it up, man. We duoed.
That's right.
We duoed and we made it to the final circle. Let's go.
That's right. After that episode was over, I nicknamed my dick Stretch Armstrong.
Fuck, what did I miss? Holy
fuck. All right, man. All right. Oh,
maybe
fuck.
I haven't seen every porn.
There you
Buck
go,
Rogers
Noof.
is-
We got our next
Right?
venture.
There you go. We got some amazing visuals going through Primal's head right now. So what did I miss? She going back checking that episode out now. She'll be watching it later. What the fuck? All righty. So the next one's kind of a big topic, and if you don't mind, I will start it just because I just get my ideas quickly out of the way, and then I will go with Titan on it. The Warner Brothers possibilities. You guys have probably heard everybody's been talking about. It's been all over like all over the websites the last day or so. Rumors like last week. So AT&T, the big mobile company, you guys all know. Well, they own Warner Brothers Games. Now the thing is, Warner Brothers Games is doing pretty damn well. The problem is AT&T is not. They're about $154 billion in debt, apparently. And in order to kind of sort of keep the company afloat, they got to liquidate their assets. People have said, well, why would you want to liquidate Warner Brothers? Because they are selling well. Well, that's particularly it. You liquidate the things that you know you can get the most money for. And theoretically, or at least what we're hearing rumors of, is that Warner Brothers Games could fetch them an easy $4 billion, maybe even more, depending on what comes with the deal. Now, here's the deal, right? So if they should say buy them, Microsoft should buy them, that would mean they would get all the studios underneath that banner. Studios like Monolith, NetherRealm, Rocksteady, there's a few other ones, but those are some of the big ones. Now here's the deal, and this is the way I see it. They would get Mortal Kombat because NetherRealm owns Mortal Kombat. That isn't necessarily owned by Warner Brothers. So that's on the NetherRealm IP, right? It's licensed out to Warner Brothers kind of deal. So that would be safe to say. But as far as people say, whoa, Batman would come. Okay, so hold on a second. Theoretically speaking, if there's deals in place, if there's still contracts in place, okay, because that's how it goes. A lot of times people have a property for so long. Then theoretically Microsoft could get, say, the Batman properties or whatever other properties are signed in. But once those deals expire, it will be up to Microsoft to basically re-sign those properties for an undisclosed however much money. This is what people got to understand. I mean, I'm not a business expert, but I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to work. But regardless of what properties to get, Mortal Kombat is going to be huge regardless. Here's the way I see it. And this is how I think it would go down for Microsoft. They buy them out. It's huge. That's a lot of money. But they're going to get established, amazing studios. NetherRealm has proven that they make one hell of a fighting game. Rocksteady has proven to be one of the top probably 5 or 6 developers in the industry right now. And I think anything that those guys basically make is going to be a pretty damn good game, even if it wasn't a Batman game. You know what I'm saying? So right there, they'd get established studios that can make killer fucking games, and they would get instant clout. Here's the thing then. They would bolster Game Pass would be huge. And here's the difference. And PlayStation guys getting upset because they're thinking, well, okay, if Microsoft buys them, they're going to have everything exclusive to Xbox and PC. I don't see that happening, seriously. And I'll tell you why. Because they would lose too much money by not licensing out those properties. Say if they get the Harry Potter license, right? Because Traveler's Tales is one of the games companies in there as well. That's huge because they got the Lego property, right? How many Lego games are selling? They make them every year because those games sell like gangbusters, right? So just think of that alone. They relicense it out. It's on PlayStation. Microsoft makes money. PlayStation still sells games. But here's the kicker, and this is where I think it would be huge for Microsoft, bigger for so, because those games would then be day and date most likely with Xbox Game Pass. That would be huge. Imagine getting the next Batman game, and it is on game, or even Mortal Kombat, and it's day one on Game Pass. But guess what? If you're a PlayStation gamer, you're not out of luck. You still get to play it, but you're going to pay full price for it, where Xbox people are going to pay a subscription fee to get it day one, and there might be some exclusive content that we only get on the Xbox platform. Phil says he's trying to shy away from that, but look, hey man, fight fire with fire is what I say. Sony doesn't mind playing dirty. Hell, we didn't get Sony bought Capcom with money, and we didn't get a Street Fighter this fucking gen. For Xbox, not a Street Fighter game, not one this whole gen, because Capcom got money from Sony to keep it exclusive. Spider-Man is now exclusive on fucking Xbox or PlayStation. Is that fair to Spider-Man fans in general or Xbox fans? I don't think so. I can't say how you would say that it is. But it is what it is. It's business. That's what Sony did to sell consoles. Microsoft should do the fucking same. They got to get rid of this nice guy attitude and say, you know what? You're basically forcing people to buy your console by putting shit on your platform. We're going to do it with ours too. So, and of course, the instant comeback guys already. I'll just play it on my powerful PC, because that always fucking happens every time you bring this argument in. Apparently, every PlayStation guy has got a powerful PC. I'll just buy it over there. Like, give it a risk, guys. We know that's not where you fucking play your games. You play them on your consoles. I already see people whining and bitching already. I saw one of the IGN posts, and you see that if you go down and watch the comments, right? Oh, Batman becomes an Xbox exclusive. Oh, you know what I mean? It's like, well, you know what? Fair is fair. Fight fire with fire. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Let's take that Batman and shove it up their ass. That's the way you wanted to do it. That's how we're going to roll. That's what I say. Anyway, that's what I think would happen if Microsoft should buy Warner. And I do think they should. I think, like you guys mentioned earlier, it would be a mic drop moment to say, we now have Warner Brothers games in our fold. And then after that, go for the properties. If they're too expensive, whatever. But having those studios alone would be massive. And if people think that the talent is going to leave those studios because they're Microsoft don't, no, they're not. Microsoft is tossing billions of dollars at them. And Microsoft, because Game Pass now is big and it's only going to get bigger, they can't afford to let go of talent anymore, because if they don't have content in Game Pass constantly, they will lose members. It's the Netflix theory. Why does Netflix have like 100 million shows on their thing now? Because they're losing content due to Disney and all the other streaming platforms. So guess what? They're making their own. They're making exclusive content. And that's how they're trying to keep people onto their particular thing. And that's what Microsoft's going to do. Microsoft's going to have their big studios that are going to take their 4 and 5 years to make those AAA games. But guess what? They're going to have studios that are going to make the AA games that can be pumped out in a year or 2 or 3 years tops to make sure that Game Pass has plenty of content. Anyway, I'm going to shut my pie hole, and we're going to turn this over to Titan, because I know he's chomping at the bit. I can feel the smoke. I can smell the fire. Have at her, Titan.
Man, that was excellent. That was an excellent
right? I feel like we're done.
that was excellent, man. But man, like, all right, so pace yourself, guys. I'm not gonna be as smooth as Noof on this one, but when it comes to buying WB games, there's a lot to this, and I almost feel like I need like to pass the bar exam to understand it all, right? But because there's so many ifs, ands, this or buts, technical jargon, this and that, like wording, and do we own the IP? Do we own the studio? Do we own the rights? Do we own the this and that? So to me, this is the counter to PlayStation owning Spider-Man if you're Microsoft, right? Mm-hmm. All right, they can have their Spider-Man, which I hate. I hate one game making company owning the rights to a superhero who, you know, millions of fans. I don't like that, but hey, if you can't beat them, join them, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the counter to that, and I'm not, you know, this is the counter to Spider-Man, and I'm not talking about Spider-Man L in the chat. Shout out to Spider-Man in the chat, great dude, rough around the edges, you know, reminds me a lot of myself. but to me, this does not need to happen as soon as possible. I've seen on Twitter, like, you know, they got to get this done for the show, and I don't agree with that, because the show at the end of this month is going to be fantastic without this. So I say, do the deal right. Don't overpay. The asking price is $4 billion. I've heard they were. I've also read they were offered $2 billion by someone, and they didn't say who it was from. Yep. But apparently, out of all these companies that are interested in it, apparently there's a bidding war going on. Right. So that's interesting to say is also, right. Also try to get the licensing. That's the other thing. That's like the huge thing about, you know, being a lawyer about the situation is all the licensing and is this deal going to come with it? Yes or no? We've yet to see about that. So, but $2 to $4 billion on a company that does not consistently make money. Now, when I read that came to a surprise to me because of all this talent, right? It's hard. It's kind of hard to read that, like all that talent you said, like Rocksteady and like, you know, they got the Batman, and then I know for a fact NetherRealm's tearing it up.
Monolith, who did the Lord of the Rings games, the Shadow of Mordor games. Yep.
And so there's so I kind of wonder, with all this talent, who's not making the money, because apparently some of them are money pits. I don't know who, but I've read that today on Twitter that, like, you know, apparently they're selling this because they don't always make money. That's kind of weird. It's so strange. They want to sell all this talent because it doesn't consistently make them money, right? I say if you're in the green overall, if you got 3 of the best, and I don't want to get into a rating, but I would say 3 of those companies are probably top 20 or so, 25 maybe, right? Just 3 of them, and and the other ones are money pits. Like
yeah. Well, I mean, Telltale Games, like I said, having the Lego property. I mean, those games sell like gangbusters every time they come out, and they're multi-plat. So,
and also, what about the Lego games, right? Aren't those already in Game Pass? Aren't a bunch of Lego games already in Game Pass?
No,
I think so.
There's some Lego games in Game Pass. I know that. They might be for 360. It might be for 360, but I know there's some Lego games in Game Pass. And
I'm checking.
Oh, I think Warner Brothers also has Avalanche Studio too, if I'm correct.
It's so much talent, and there's so much around it. Like $4 billion. That's a lot of money, and they're at a bidding war. So
then again, Microsoft paid $2 billion just for Minecraft, and that shit's already made fucking Microsoft how many billions? Right?
I think it's a good investment. I'm not going to debate that. I think even 4 at the high price, but I think they, I don't know. Maybe they'll pay more for it because they're at a bidding war. Aren't there 3 companies vying for this?
If there was one company who I think would make sense to buy it because they're hurting, would be Google for Stadia. But that's the problem. I don't care what Google buys. I'm not buying a Stadia to play fucking any Batman or any Traveler's Tale games.
Right.
I'm not buying Stadia, period. So you know what? Then basically it's a big FU. So that might work for a lot of people, but it ain't fooling Noof Nukem. I ain't buying Stadia for any of their shit.
Dude, I'm rooting against Google in every way, shape, or form. It's such a weird thing.
But if Google does it, Google will make it exclusive because they need to drive people to their platform. They don't have a choice. They can't license that shit out unless they get desperate. But otherwise, I think they would keep, even if they do it for like a year exclusive on their games, because they'll try to get people onto that.
Exactly. And I'm all for competition, and Google is the next big contender. But I already choose Xbox over PlayStation as it is for a large part for monetary money reasons. Like, and then another one wants a big chunk of the pie, and we haven't even seen what Amazon is gonna. There's gonna be more players in the industry soon. So,
Primal, I can tell that your lips are a little moist on this one. Did you want to chime in?
There really isn't much more to say than what you guys have said. This would be a huge, massive power move on Microsoft's part, and they're not necessarily taking away from gamers. They're just saying, hey, if you don't have an Xbox, you can still get this game, but like you were saying before, but you're gonna have to pay for it. Whereas, you're still paying for Game Pass, but it's just gonna be a little bit different. It's them being an asshole, but not being an asshole. And you are right. It is kind of like their move in comparison to with Capcom. I was furious, absolutely furious that we weren't going to get a Street Fighter on the Xbox because that's my main fighting game right there.
I'm pretty sure if Sony said right now we're going to put the Spider-Man game out on Xbox, Xbox, there's a lot of Xbox people that were pissed off of it, but I'm pretty sure anybody that only has an Xbox and wanted the Spider-Man game would easily drop their $60 to go buy it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course. But that's one game. That's just one game. There's they have all these studios that are going to be having all these third-party games, and it would be great for Microsoft to kind of take control over the gaming industry. Like I said, that this would be a massive power move. And Titan, only Lego Star Wars 3. I had to look.
I knew a Lego was on there.
Yeah, no, it would be so smart for them to actually add more Lego games because they're actually fun. It's not just for kids or anything. They are great games. But back on topic. No, you guys have pretty much said all I could.
Well, of that, then Primal, which one of those studios to you sort of would make the biggest difference? I mean, because Rocksteady's the first one that sticks out.
Yeah,
but some people love Monolith, some people love Avalanche. There's Traveler's Tales. There's a bunch. That literally is like a fantastic. Like Warner Brothers, Montreal, Boston, Montreal, San Francisco, Avalanche. Darko's coming in there you go. So they've got a lot of studios. That's crazy.
Well, it's a huge deal because they make the games that we play once we're done with these like massive friggin' exclusive games. You know, we go to these games and they're so important, and it would just be great for Microsoft to have control over that.
Yeah. I mean,
did Monolith make Shadow of Mordor? Those two games?
Yes.
Oh my god! It came a little.
I mean,
So that's what you sound like. Okay.
Go ahead, Youngest. Take it away, man.
well, I mean, after doing my due diligence on this shit for whatever it's worth, I think I actually believe AT&T is setting this prematurely because if you think about it, in last year, Warner Brother Games alone, the revenue was $2 billion.
Yeah,
just in that 1 year, right? So if you're selling it for $4 billion, I mean, but the key is to keep it multiplat. I mean,
right.
You got to keep it multiplat. If you start holding it to your own console, then of course that revenue is going to go down. But what I would love, like you mentioned earlier, is that they'll be in Game Pass day and date. That changes everything. That,
yes.
For me, it's like,
yeah, they're going to be able to kind of double dip, right?
Correct, exactly, and everything on if you own, let's just say, a PlayStation, but you really want to buy those $60 games, or would you prefer to buy just a higher end gaming system, which would be the Series X, and just play it on the Game Pass? I mean, that's smart, right? So I'd go with that. I'd go with that. So, like I said, I believe they're selling it prematurely, but again, like you said, they're 154 billion in debt. They're pretty much just trying to do away with a lot of things. I think they're trying to cut 3,400 jobs. They're closing down like 250 stores, right? So they're ready to let it go. And would you, as a gamer, would you prefer Xbox, gamer friendly or consumer friendly, pro consumer, or do you want EA, Take-Two, or Activision to acquire them? I mean,
right.
No, right? And then you have Take-Two raising their prices $10 already. Why would you even want that? So for gamers out there who are saying, "Oh no, not Xbox sucks," or for whatever their personal issues are, really, as a gamer, you would want Xbox to take the lead on this. I don't see any other way around it. You know.
Well, do you think Sony has tried to bid in on this? Because I don't hear much talk about Sony. Or do you think it's just the fact that, like for Sony, it's a bigger gamble because again, they're not in the same position as Microsoft. I'm not saying that they couldn't do it, but obviously, I think the other companies have a little more leverage overall than Sony. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and you're comparing $100 billion company with a $1 trillion company too, right? Where Microsoft has that trillion, and they could take that hit. If you think about it, I don't believe Sony needs it. I don't. They're pretty much
also
set.
Sony was not one of the contenders for this.
Yeah, no, they have. That's what Noof was saying, that they've been in the dark and not said anything. I don't think they really need it. They have. I mean, so from a PlayStation perspective, a Sony fan perspective, they pretty much got the games they want for next gen already. Give me the God of War, give me the Horizons, the Spider-Mans. They're happy.
Yeah, right? But Sony to me is like kind of notoriously a little bit on the slower end of pace. They may think that they don't need it right now, but later on when they see how successful it is for Microsoft, they're going to jump on something else that's going to be similar.
Oh,
that's the way I say it. Kind of like with the whole crossplay thing and all that shit that happened. What was that, last year? Them being like the last ones to jump on the bandwagon. So it's kind of like maybe not now, but later Sony will definitely find something to compete with.
And that's true. That's true. They've always been this traditional console or company, right? That's been lagging behind the curve when it comes to Game Pass and game and date and
right. But it's also not about market share today. That's what people are very narrow-minded. They're thinking about today, but it's about tomorrow. It's about the market share in the next 10 years because we know that the economics and the way the landscape of gaming has changed. And we've also heard Microsoft steadily say, well, yes, Sony is looked at as their main competitor, But I think they're very closely watching what companies like Amazon and Apple and Google do in various divisions, because they're all getting pretty serious about gaming, whether it's mobile or other areas. And that's the thing. Money is money, and everybody's fighting for the same dollar. We're also looking at the fact that EA is trying to get people to get on their EA subscription. Ubisoft is talking about doing a subscription. In the next 10 years, half of these companies are all going to probably try to sell you an individual subscription, which means ultimately, if that ends up happening, Game Pass is going to start losing those games. They're going to start losing third-party games because everybody's going to want to make their own $10 a month selling their own freaking games. So guess what Microsoft's going to need to do? Hire more studios to make more content under their banner so they can keep Game Pass very attractive to the consumer. You might pay more at the end of the day, but I don't think anyone really gives a shit if you're getting 200 fucking games, access to 200 games a month, day and date games first thing, and you're paying like $14-15 a month. Is that really that big of a deal? I think not.
No, that's a bargain still.
Well, Newf, when we had our last podcast together, we talked about Microsoft dropping Mixer, right? And how much money that saved Xbox. Since then, Xbox has also closed tons of Microsoft stores, right? So that's saving them a ton of more money. I would love to be a fly on the wall in these business negotiations and stuff, and just to see the numbers that they're saving on those two moves alone.
Yeah.
Is that enough to like, because you got to ask yourself, like, how does Phil Spencer walk up to Satya and they're like, hey, buddy, what's going on? Can I get another $4 bill? You know?
Well, I think as long as Phil keeps showing growth and everything that he's basically, basically taken over in the last couple of years, I don't think Satya's the kind of guy to go, yeah, well, if numbers were way down, he might not. But right now, they know that the Xbox game division is making them a ton of money, and they see it. So I think that's why he's getting the extra the rope to play with here. Youngest, you have any further thoughts on that?
I mean, Rocksteady's working on Suicide Squad, right? Warner Brothers Montreal is working on the next Batman project. I was just wondering what happens with that. What if you do the agreement, and of course the big thing is the licensing, right? You want that licensing in order to make up for those $4 billion that you just spent on them. What happens with those games? Do they all just become part of Xbox immediately? Does Warner Brothers take a cut? I mean,
I think it'd be much like we saw with the Outer Worlds and Obsidian. A lot of those transactions were already in place before they took over, so they'll just naturally just publish them, and obviously Microsoft will make coin out of that itself. But like I said, they won't hold back content because it wouldn't make sense. You're still trying to make money, and these properties are too big to just tie them to Xbox alone. But like I said, to put them on day and date on Game Pass would be huge in itself. Would be a massive seller for that platform. So I think that's why it would be a win-win. I think you'd see a lot of Game Pass subscription go up, and any of those deals I think that are already done will be a part of the contracts that Microsoft moves forward. Now, mind you, when those deals expire, because that's how it works. You sign like 2 or 3 games over the course of 5, 6, 10 years, and then when those contracts are up, it's up to them to renew those licensed contracts. You see that all the time with sports games. That's why a lot of sports games are not back compatible, because a lot of the music and stuff like that, or player licenses even, run out at a certain point in time, and it costs way much more money than those games are worth for companies to go back and relicense all that stuff. That's why you don't see like old NHL or Madden games kind of becoming back compat, because it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I knew that was going to be a big topic. It is 9:29. We got a couple more topics to get into, and then we're going to get out of here. Any more thoughts on that? Everybody's good to go?
Good to go.
Sounds
all right. We're going to get Primal to lead off on the next topic, and then we'll go to Youngest. The next topic is an interesting one, and guys, take it with a grain of salt. Be open-minded here. I got to tread very carefully on this, because this could be taken in a lot of different ways depending on which side of the fence you're on. Okay, this is more of a social topic, and it's due to entertainment. Now, over the last couple of weeks, with the Black Lives Matter movement and different things, we've seen a lot of professional actors and different things come forward, whether it's voice actors and what have you, that have decided, to step down from their roles. Who was it? A guy that does Cleveland on Family Guy. He's not going to do Cleveland anymore. There's a girl, the one who does Marcy on Big Mouth on Netflix. She's going to step away from her role. I mean, obviously these people are not black, but they're voicing black characters. We saw a couple years ago, I think, that The Simpsons pulled a poo off due to a public backlash. So basically, it comes down to, how do you feel about these, actors giving up, these positions, these titles, because they feel it was wrong to take them in the first place. And like I said, we'll get Primal to lead it off. As you guys know, Primal is black, so she might have a different perspective than the panel or the rest of the panel. So I wanted to get her to lead off with this one first, and let us know how she feels about it all. Is it overblown, or is it like necessary?
It's like I see it at both ends. I'm not one way or another way. Acting is acting. If you're good for that part and you can play that part and you can bring that character to life, do it. Cast whoever you need to. But in respect, I do believe that there's certain roles that should be played by who they were supposed to be. There was something about Halle Berry. She stepped away because there was a transgender role that she didn't end up wanting to do.
Yes.
And I get it, but it would also be kind of cool to have somebody who is transgender play that part. I'm also a little kind of done with seeing the same actors over and over and over again. Me personally, I love seeing new people. I love seeing fresh faces. I love being able to jump into something not knowing already how that person's going to be playing that part. Sometimes, yes, it is a little overblown. It's not like, it wouldn't be the end of the world, especially if it's some comedy type thing. I get it. There's certain, remember Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah.
When the whole fucking deal with her,
a transgender and
Ghost with Ghost in the Shell, because she was an Asian. There was that whole thing. I would have loved to see an Asian actress play that role. That would be so awesome. But they felt that she was best for the role. If they ever remade it, I say get yourself a Asian girl and do it. It's just like,
yeah.
I'm on the fence with this, honestly. But it comes down. It's acting, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
somebody can portray that,
right?
Yeah, this isn't like it's not real. If someone can nail that part and do it better than anybody else can, then yeah. But it's kind of a shame, like with Cleveland, like, come on, he's been in Cleveland for how many years, and you're stepping away from the role that you're acting, it's your voice.
I mean,
it's not.
I understand the sports team and the names. That makes more sense because a lot of those names have really negative history connotations. But like, as far as like imaginary characters on fucking cartoon shows of all things, I don't know that, but I'll voice my opinion in a bit. So did you have any more you wanted to say?
No, it's not. This is just, it's an odd topic because, and it's kind of weird. Who would have thought years from now, this would even be a topic? But the whole world is so fucked up right now. It's absolutely ridiculous. Me being mixed, I'm not like, I'm not one way or another. I'm just do your job. That's pretty much what I have to do. I'm not going to be offended by somebody else playing a certain role if they're good at it. That's where I come down to it.
Absolutely. Great points from Primal. Like I said, guys, and everybody in the chat, just keep it respectful. Everybody has their opinion. No one's necessarily right or wrong. I just thought it was an interesting topic because it is relevant to today, and obviously it involves entertainment and how our entertainment landscape is drastically changing due to the social and political climate that we're in right now. And I think it's sort of taken the unnecessary brunt. But I'll weigh in a second. Youngest, you are the guest here, my friend. How would you like to weigh on this if you have any thoughts on this at all?
Well, I'm Hispanic, right, and I'm in the middle too. I can't lean too far in one way or the other because you got it depends on the context, right? You got someone mentioned Tropic Thunder in the chat, and Robert Downey Jr. playing a movie in a movie as a black character, right? Right. And it's funny, but I bet you there's still some that were offended by that, right? So you can't really say, "Oh, that's okay, let it go, let it go." No, I mean there are some that
I didn't get offended at all when the Wayans brothers played White Chicks. That movie was fucking hilarious.
I see that shit everywhere now.
right? And that's that double standard that people need to. There is a double standard. There is a double standard, and it's something we can't get away from. But as far as like Scarlett Johansson, I mean, a lot of people wanted it to be an Asian girl, right?
Right.
But this issue has been spanning since 1950s when John Wayne was playing Genghis Khan, right? Instead of an actual Mongol or Asian person playing that role. So it's been going on in cinema for a long time. I mean, I get it, cartoon wise, it's just voice acting, right? But some people still get offended. Some people still, why is this person doing that voice? He's not black, or he's not white, he's not Asian, he's not Hispanic, he's not Latin, whatever, you know.
Right.
So, but the one thing that I do see that it does prevent inclusion and diversity, though, because it's all about, at the end of the day, it's about the bottom line. And of course, they're going to cast someone like Scarlett Johansson because she'll bring more money into the box office.
Right.
Instead of trying to find that good Asian actor that can do the role, they don't. That So, it's touchy, like you said. It's kind of difficult to explain, and I know, and you can't be right. You
can't please everybody.
Exactly.
And that comes and goes with every single thing in life. Not everybody's going to be happy with the decision that's made.
Yeah.
Do whatever you need to do and be done with it. That's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's hard to please. Yeah, it's true. It's hard to please everyone. It's hard, and you never will. No one
it's impossible. You'll never, no matter what it is, you could be the most altruistic person in the world, and you will never satisfy everyone, and that's pathetic.
Right. There's people that fucking love me. There's people that fucking hate me. Okay. Right. I'm going to carry on. The movie's going to carry on. The game's going to carry on. It's just tough shit.
Yeah.
Titan! I know you got something ready to roll. What's your take on this, brother?
Yeah. So
a little pause there.
Here we go. I personally don't get it. Like what are they just now realizing that they're portraying another race? Why are they doing this now? Like that tells me that like society is impacting their own decisions. But like Primal said, acting is acting, and she's right. Like I don't think there's anything wrong unless the majority of people are offended. And I say majority for a reason, because someone out there would be offended at literally anything nowadays. So you people are going to be offended, a small group, and you just got to throw that aside. I don't know if you just want to call it a bad day or their life sucks or whatever, because most pathetic people in this world, their life sucks, and they just want to take away happiness from other people. And that's the facts. I served in the military and protected information vital to national security on a day-to-day basis for 5 years of my life. And I did not do it for the people that seem to be in the limelight right now. Death Mobile said, is Brian going to be voiced by a dog? And he's right? Like,
right? Exactly.
Like, when are people not going to take offense to everything? When are people... Go ahead.
No, you finish your thoughts, man. Your time to shine. Go for it.
It's when are people not going to take offense to everything? When are people going to stop feeling sorry for themselves? We all know when someone crosses the line, right?
Yes.
Like if you're having a bad day, just shut the fuck up and stay off Twitter, because the problem with Twitter and the social media is that the most ridiculous shit that's said is the shit that gets blown up. Right? Like there's like, let's take gaming for instance, like Foxy or whatever. Like that dude just says the most ridiculous dumb shit. And people just, I like what he said. I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna retweet it. That doesn't make any sense. Is it true? No and no. Like, that's the pathetic world we live in. That's the shit that gets blown up, and I can't stand it. Like, whatever happened to just being happy for each other?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
No, but it's even social media isn't even like, there's zero truth almost to what everybody says. If they're sad, they're going to portray that they're happy. If they're, happy, they could portray that they're sad as long as they're getting attention. And that's what all social media is. We have no idea how well. I'm pretty much exactly who I am for those who have met me already. But it's just, I lost my thought. That shit's gone.
I hate it when that happens.
Youngest, did you come in here and steal his thoughts?
I get that shit all the time. I write it down.
No, I know. Well, you're saying shit, and like, because like whenever you talk, you talk with like feeling and excitement, and now I'm getting like feeling and excitement. And I had this really great point about fucking something, and it's gone. Shit.
When that happens to me, I'll get it back like an hour later. I'll be like, damn, that's what I wanted.
Right? I'll be posting on Twitter here shortly. Hey.
Here's how I look at it. If you look at The Simpsons, one of the longest running sitcoms in history, most of the cast was voiced by, well, first of all, none of the cast was yellow. Like the characters, what's her name? Marcy Wallace, I think is her name. Like, she voiced 4 or 5 characters. She's female and she voiced males. Like, this is what I'm saying. Hank Azaria did 4 or 5 different characters
fucking
within
Tara
the show.
Strong,
right?
She voices everything,
Exactly.
And she's not a little beast.
The thing is with entertainment, the one reason we all have in common entertainment, whether it's games, movies, music, etc., is the fact that entertainment is meant to be our escape from reality. The thing is, you can't get away from real life. You go out the door, you're faced with real life every day. Entertainment is just that. It's there to entertain you. It is there to suspend disbelief. Again, if you want to look at colors, well, what's his name? Samuel L. Jackson does Nick Fury now in the movie version of Marvel. In the comics, the dude is white. I don't give a fuck that Samuel L. Jackson plays. He's an awesome Nick Fury. He's an awesome dude, period. I don't care that he's black doing a white character, but there you go, right? It goes both ways. I totally get it where some people are coming, but I think it's just totally overblown. It's getting to the stupid point. Darko in the chat drops $5, says, would everyone rather see a high action fight movie with actual real fighters or Hollywood actors that have big name recognition? So there you go. He has a point. That's the thing. It's all about marketability. It's all about selling. Now, mind you, if and when possible, you can get, say, a qualified black actor or an Asian actor to absolutely represent the Asian or black character on the screen, by all means do it. I think they should always have first crack at it. Do you know what I mean? That's how I look at it. They should have the first crack at it. If they're qualified, give them the first crack at it. That sort of thing. But like, it's getting kind of ridiculous. I don't like. Does anybody really sit there and watch this shit and go, man, that fucking Cleveland guy, he must be a white dude doing this voice?
Right?
I laugh at it. Cleveland's an amazing character. He even got his own show. He's funny, right? He's got that voice, that weird voice, and you know what I mean? Like it's just all of these characters. It just baffles my mind. And corporations are partly to blame because corporations have no balls anymore. They're so afraid that the minority, the vocal minority, are going to kick up a stink, that they're going to lose a shitload of money. So let's fucking let's pull our ads. Let's do this. Let's do that because we have no balls and can't stand up for anything anymore. While there's like a silent majority of us sitting back going, this is fucking ridiculous. What is going on? There's bigger things in the world to be concerned about than fucking who's voicing a character on a goddamn television show.
You're right. And you know what? And you got to ask yourself this too. Like, let's take me, for example. If I blew up and became famous, right? I would love to have Michael B. Jordan to do my voice or something, right? Like right? Who takes offense to someone else, as a different color? Who takes offense to that?
I'm not from Austria. Does that mean I'm not from Austria? Does that mean I can't do Arnold Schwarzenegger anymore?
Yeah, right. Like it's utterly ridiculous.
But that's the thing. You're always going to have that group that will get offended, no matter.
Always.
There's what you do is like.
There's a fantastic TV show. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. You can watch it on Netflix. It's from Canada. It's called Kim's Convenience. It's about an immigrant Korean family that owns a small convenience store in downtown Metro Toronto. this store actually exists. There have been lots of immigrant families who run businesses exactly like they have. Now, the guy, Paul Sung Young, I forget his last name, something like that, but he's actually Korean, but I think he might have been born in Canada. But his father immigrated here from Korea, and he's doing his accent in the show, right? Like this Korean store owner accent, kind of like, sort of like Hapu, essentially, right? So people called him out on the internet for it, and he said, like, that's not Korean, blah, 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 blah. And then he goes, dude, I am from Korea. He goes, my father immigrated here. And he goes, you know what? My character is based upon my father, who fucking sounds just like the way I sound in the show. He goes, so like you're getting upset over nothing. Like he goes, this is what my dad sounded like. It's not like he's there making fun. You know what I mean? And that's also what gives the show personality. And at the end of the day, the best thing about entertainment, whether it's music, movies, games, if you don't like it, you can turn it the fuck off. Whoa, what did I do? Kill a room? What did I say here? What did I say?
We're all steaming on.
Oh, did I just go deeper? So deep I can't get it out?
I was waiting for the fireworks or something to pop off.
Boom, boom, boom.
Suction cup in.
Yeah. Anybody else? I'm done with it. Like I said, it is what it is. I mean, at this point, it's not much I can do about it. But anyone else have any more topics on this before we get into our last couple?
No.
Or just leave it as it is? Let's give a shout out to the chat again. Nasty, crazy, great dude. Joe Dunmore, Death Mobile, Cyber Gunter's in the house. What's going on? Shinsaya, Darko is here. Astray Gaming is in the house. Hey, UK Dazarus is here. What's going on? He's up late.
Oh,
how you doing, Dazzy? I'm surprised he didn't say something extremely dirty.
I know.
Right? What's going on with Dazzy? That's just fucking sedated. Huh?
Right?
Logic Win, Spider-Man 356, Timothy Dixon, original Next Level Gaming's in the house. We got a great crew. We got over 40-something watching tonight. Biggest crowd in the world.
We were touching 50 earlier, so yeah.
Almost
there you
50.
go. That's the record, ain't it?
I think about 50,
I don't know. I think
52, 50, maybe 52, I think at one point. Not sure.
Moving on up. I like it.
All righty, we're gonna let our guests take off the next topic, and then we'll get to Primal Eve's question of the night. Next one is just a simple topic. It's about Destiny. Basically, remember Marty O'Donnell? He used to do the obviously he worked for Bungie for years, and he did the soundtrack for Halo. That's where he got his claim to fame. He obviously became a bigwig in the company until he got rid of him shortly after Destiny came out. He basically said the deal was bad from the start. Basically, they're calling out this deal from Activision, and didn't sound like it was very good. Not surprisingly, that they walked away from it a few years later. And that they have the IP, which is good for them. So, how do you feel about Destiny, the game itself? And how do you feel about that relationship and kind of where this franchise is going from this perspective? Youngest?
Oh, I'm going. Okay.
I wanted to avoid this one.
No, in regards to Destiny, and I wish they would have stayed with Xbox from the beginning, because they started the whole Halo franchise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wish Bungie would have stayed with Xbox, but I know they wanted to be independent. Big mistake going to Activision. And what's new? I mean, Activision has been in the news for all the wrong reasons, right?
Yeah.
And this is just another one adding up to it. And so I'm glad Bungie was able to keep their IP, stay, and now they're independent. They're working on their own games. They said if they were still with Activision, they'd probably be Destiny 4 right now. And I like it how they're doing it. They're Destiny 2. They keep adding every year. They have a roadmap to 2023 or something like that. That they'll keep adding new features to the game and just updating it constantly. And I'm happy where they're at right now. I mean, that's pretty much all I got to say.
Great quote here. O'Donnell's is when they first went into the meetings and they talked to the Activision CFO about everything. O'Donnell and them said, "Be nice to the goose," was kind of what they said to the Activision CEO. Kind of representing Bungie being the goose that lays the golden eggs for Activision. And then according to O'Donnell, he said the CFO then told him that he liked the analogy, but then added, "But sometimes there's nothing like a good foie gras," which is basically a controversial food made by force-feeding geese before slaughter. So basically, like the CFO would tell him, yeah, well, your lamb's to the slaughter. We're gonna screw this franchise. Yeah. We're gonna try to make money, and you're just gonna lose your creative freedom to get it done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's kind of funny because they wanted away from Microsoft, for so long, and they finally got their wish, and then they kind of got like the was it the worser of two evils or something like that,
Yeah. And at that point, because we all know what Microsoft was back then, right? Everyone was complaining that they didn't have that creative freedom until now. Now Xbox has given them that creative freedom, which if they would have stayed all those years with Xbox, I mean, that's what they would be getting now. But they went with Activision, and they almost got their heads cut off. Right? So.
Yeah, crazy. So you're a Destiny fan. Do you play it at all? I mean, what do you think of the game, where it started, where it is, and what do you expect of the franchise moving forward? Obviously, Bungie still has big plans for it. They got more content coming out soon. There's still a dedicated fan base. How do you feel on it?
I enjoy the game every time they bring in a new update. Right, I have local buddies that I play with. Then we get the achievements. I love getting the new weapons. I just don't like them when they underpower them. I love that being overpowered, having those overpowered weapons. I mean, blowing a lot of people up, killing everyone. But then they nerf them, and that's when I say, I'll just shut it off for now. I'll wait for the next one. But I mean, it's one of those games where it's repetitive, right? You're just waiting for the new one to come in, play it for a little while, then you're done with it. You put it down, and then you just keep on waiting for the next one.
Right. Do you think that Bungie, do you think the Destiny franchise will ultimately now be better though, because Activision doesn't have their mitts into it, and they're sort of now they can kind of do what they want with the content?
Oh, definitely, because you have that creative freedom, right? If you're handcuffed to what Activision wants all the time, and they're telling you do this, do that, it gets boring. You as a content creator, if someone's telling you what to do and how to do it, you start losing interest, right? And Bungie having that creative freedom, they're able to experiment with new things and make their product better.
Right. This is a question for the chat. Do you guys think that Bungie and Destiny is alive and kicking now that they've separated ties with Activision, or do you think they should just kind of bury Destiny and move on to something else? So, one, if you think Destiny is awesome and you're hoping to see a lot more of it, or two, Bungie should just kind of move on at this point. We'd love to see that in the chat. Do you have any further thoughts on this, Yungest?
No.
Primal, how about you? You feeling that Destiny vibe or what?
All right, let's go to the beginning. when Destiny first came out, it was push. This is a 10-year game. Everybody hop on this shit. We're gonna keep this shit going. That was like their main tagline for this, and it was awesome. It was great. It was something new. Multiplayer was really cool. Being able to play with your friends, or even just do solo. The raids were really cool, and when they kept it updated. And then they decided to start with the first expansion pack, and they slammed us with but wait, you need to buy the game all over again to get this expansion pack. That's what really hit home for me. Yeah. I was like, wait a second. So this 10-year plan, do I need to buy this game 10 more times to be able to really enjoy it? And I did have fun with it. But for me, once that whole expansion pack thing, that kind of put me off a little bit. And it was like, do I really want to invest so much into this? Because after a while, it did get repetitive. And I did end up continuing on. And then I tried Destiny 2, which shouldn't have ever been Destiny 2 because of the 10-year plan. So I don't even fucking know. But I played that too, but in a way I felt like I was still playing the same game. Yes, they added extra little features and stuff like that, but it wasn't anything refreshing from the first Destiny, and I still had that bad taste in my mouth about the whole expansion pack. But,
well, you aren't the only one who's got a bad taste in their mouth, according to all the twos in the chat. Holy Diner, Ashtray 2, BZ McNasty 2, Cold Stone Fable 2, Marvin Ramos 2, Deadpool 910 gives it a 2, Juno's 2, Jaceler J2, Titan says, holy twos! Shinsia gives it a 2, Spider-Man a 2. God dang, I think it's time to put Destiny to pasture here. Holy shit.
Honestly, I think their best bet is to just, because they do have that creative freedom now.
Yeah.
And they can actually make the game that you wanted to make from the beginning, not Destiny.
Yeah.
Do something fresh, ground up. You already know what works, what doesn't work. Take what you've learned from your experience from Destiny 1 and 2 and make something else that could be magical.
I get the feeling when Bungie went over to Activision, I get the feeling that ultimately they wanted to move on from Halo, but I think they wanted to make another Halo style game and a great universe. Like Destiny has a lot of things going for it, but I think it was Activision that really pushed the whole game as a service mantra with this game. You know what I mean? Like they wanted it to be the next Call of Duty cash cow. So when Call of Duty wasn't pumping the money in the fall, Destiny was picking up the slack in the spring. You know what I mean? And I don't think Destiny turned out to be the way that they wanted the game to be. Ultimately, I think it was Activision's meddling. And if you read between the lines, a lot of the articles, it definitely sounds like they were just like, yeah, you know what I mean? And of course, the first game came up with a lot of stumbles, not having a congruent campaign. We saw this sort of same shit with Anthem. Anthem was also suffering from that same Destiny identity, and that's kind of following in its footsteps. Very similar. They have very similar footprints here.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. So that's what I think happened there. And I think now they have control of Destiny. Like I think Destiny's a great franchise. I think they should just scrap it though. Like at this point, and when they come back with the Destiny 3, just get rid of the fucking seasonal bullshit and make an actual story-based game and great multiplayer.
Yeah.
Well, like Yungest said, there's creative freedom, and I agree. But there's creative freedom, and then there's the big bad boss man saying you have to put this in the game because we need it to make this much money, right?
Money.
And,
That's the bottom line. Yeah.
And I can see just how much that derails the train of the game you're making. I'm playing Mad Game Simulator right now on Legendary, by the way. I don't know if you guys ever played it. It's on Xbox. Awesome game. But I could not imagine having, a boss from above me saying that, but hey, before you release this, you have to put in this with all these options. And that takes time, and time is money, right? And when the game is finished and it's being shelved because of ideas from your big boss that they want to be put into the game, right? I think that's truly the situation that we saw with this game. I think a lot of this time could have been spent much more efficiently, right? But they got the big bad boss man saying, "Hey, we need these this, and we need that."
Yep.
It derails. I don't want to say it's so much taking away the creative freedom as derailing the consistency of the game, right? Like they should be on their next endeavor by now, and they're stuck making all this crap that they have to put into the game, right?
Right. Yeah. And it's obvious what they're doing. It's not like a secret. It's not like subtly getting these things to keep us. Like, no, this is what it's going to be, and you're going to do it. It's
but
ridiculous.
They recently said they're not changing anything anytime soon, though, right? They're keeping it the same till, like they mentioned, 2023. So nothing's changing. Is it?
No, they're on to their next thing, as as they move along.
One of the things, like besides like Noob mentioned, the story, have a good story in there. I think what really it does not help Destiny at all is having to find other players in order to complete those raids. To find good players to complete those raids sometimes is a hassle, and you just turn it off. You just turn it off. You move on. Why couldn't they just make it to a point where if it's just you, change the difficulty level down, you can complete the raid on your own?
Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever made a LFG, a looking for group post?
No.
Do it. If you need someone, do it, man.
Yeah.
And you get to create the hashtags and everything. I've used it on Call of Duty for the past week, and I've used it before in the past because a lot of I'm on a weird sleep schedule, and a lot of my friends are crashing out early on me. Well, in my opinion. Like 5 a.m. they're crashing out on me.
Like, get up, bitch, wake up.
Get up.
Few more hours.
Yeah. That's what. Go ahead.
Mm.
No, I'll just say LFGs, man, they work legit. They are legit.
Oh yeah, you'll get people who have ran those raids like fucking they get that shit backwards. But that's the thing with raids though. Like for me, I didn't have to do LFGs because I have a good core group of friends. But the shit gets so intense that friendships do break up after some of that shit. So it's almost worth it doing, the LFGs. I've lost some friends. I've had people block me before because I wasn't there in time. Like, go fuck yourself.
You're right though, man. Yeah, my old COD group, half of them split up to go on PlayStation because of me, man.
Yeah.
I have high expectations for this crew that I've molded from nothing.
I'd be like, I fucking knew you for 15 years, and because I didn't make it to the point in time, I'm deleted from your life. Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
That's why I don't play Sea of Thieves more than I want, because I like the game, but fuck, every time I see some Sea of Thieves, I'm like, oh, so this is going to be another 4 or 5 hour just fucking sludge to get this and get that and go here and go there, It's just like,
Yeah, too slow for your style, for sure.
I fell asleep with Sea of Thieves when it first came out because it came out on my birthday and I was totally trash. And I never got back into it because it made me fall asleep. And I have that same like reflex memory from it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, there you go, guys. Anyway, like that was the last topic of the night, unless there's anybody more thoughts on everything. No, all good. How's everybody feeling in the chat? We hope you guys are fantastic. We hope you all had a fantastic July weekend, or the July 4th, Independence Day. Hope everybody's safe and sound and doing well and staying away from the COVID, which apparently looks like it shows no signs of slowing down, especially south of the border. Up in Canada, we're doing pretty good. But different strokes, different folks. I guess things were handled very differently in both countries. So we're doing okay, and we're on top of things. And hopefully, in a few months, it's an old history. So, But yeah, it is what it is. Just stay safe out there. Let's give a shout out to the chat again. Darko Streamers, Death Mobile, Deadpool 910. Dreadpool was here earlier. Got to give a big shout out to JD Gamer, who dropped how many friggin' super chats tonight? Like, dude was on fire with the cash. And speaking of, with those super chats, guys, what I'm hoping to do here pretty soon is get some of that together and give back to the community by doing a fantastic giveaway. I think that's only right. And I'll try to get something cool cooked up for you guys soon. We'll see what the coffers got to say about that. So, yeah, I was saying a great idea earlier. I was saying in Retro Renegades podcast, I said, you know what would really look cool on a cloth mask is put a picture of the face hugger from Aliens on the cloth mask. I think that would look awesome. That's a great money idea right there for Fox, and all those guys own the rights to it. That's for sure. Marvin Ramos, thanks for the thumbs up, brother, and thanks for being here. We got a lot of new faces in this chat tonight. It's been fantastic. Yes. At over 40 something, and seeing a lot of new support here tonight. It's good. Loon Smile, thanks for being here. Shinsia, Darko's Dreamers, Dre Monero, Jay Slayer, Jay. I hope that I mentioned everybody tonight. I like to try to keep up with you guys. BZ McNasty, Joe Dunmore, just because again, guys, UK Devs, you guys are awesome. Me and Primal can't say that enough to you guys, how much we love you guys and appreciate each and every one of you being here, whether it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the whole show, or you catch it on the replay. You guys are fucking fantastic. Loon wants a spanker from Noof Daddy. Well, I'll give you my address. You show up on the door, I'll spank you getting hard. I hope you're a girl, though. I feel a little awkward if you're not a girl, but yeah.
Just close your eyes.
I'll just close my eyes and hope you don't have a hairy, hard bum. That's all. There you go. Oh, there you go. Hey, if the money's right,
right?
If the money's right. Joe Dunmore with the dab, Death Mobile with the hots. All right. So before we get out of here, though, we do have Primal Eve's question of the week. And Primal made it the whole fucking show, guys. Round of
applause. Woo! Internet fucking sleep.
Internet didn't crash. I'm still awake.
I know, right? Huh? You know, the second my head hits this fucking pillow, I'm done. Like,
won't keep you much longer. Drop it out. Drop it up, Primal.
A couple days ago, I had posted a meme on Twitter that ended up getting a lot more likes than I thought. It says, "Dear big girls, don't be afraid to get on top. If he dies, he dies."
That was hilarious.
Yeah. So a lot of the responses were all like, I die happy. Like if I could go out, this is how I want to go. So my question I posed to you guys on the panel and to you guys in the chat, how do you want to go if you're able to choose how you go?
That is a great fucking question, and that was a pretty cool one that you posted. I saw it. That was
I was shocked.
If you guys didn't know, it was like a picture of a pretty sexy, thick chick. Nice boobs, nice rack, but she's thick, right? And I love thick girls.
I'm short and thick. Whenever I get on top of anybody, I'm like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "They're like, yeah." I'm like, "All right, this is what you get."
Primal's like, "I've known to break a few boners in my day."
So if you ever do a dick check, they all fucking curve to the left.
So now we know which way she rides.
Right?
She has a little twirly derb up there. Yeah, 2-hour show. We're breaking a record tonight. We normally barely get past 90 minutes. But yeah, I knew it was going to be good with Yungest and Titan. I knew it was going to be a fucking lit show.
Yeah.
Right? You even got Daz in the chat. It's up past his fucking bedtime. Man's still recovering from a stroke, and he's still fucking here. Daz, you rock, brother. We gotta get you back on here some night, brother.
If Daz can get over a stroke and be on here this time, man, that's props, man.
Right?
I'm telling you. He's hoping to Primal here have a different kind of stroke going on.
I know.
Oh man, I can hear him right now. I can hear him from the UK, man. He's got all kinds of stuff to say about that.
I can hear the beer cracking already. Right? Youngest, so how would you like to go out? Youngest, would you like to go out on the bottom of a hot, sexy chick, or how would you like to go out, brother?
Hey, that's a given right there. Of course. Right? That's how you want to go out. No, but I'll keep it politically correct just in case. My dude,
you know what show you're on.
What he's trying to say is he wants to go out on top of a with a sexy chick that's actually a chick, right? Not someone pretending to be.
Of course. But I'll plead the fifth on this one. Just in case my kids are watching it, I'll just stay quiet on this one. But
he's gonna stay quiet on this one. All right.
I'll plead the fifth.
He's going up with the ball gag then, guys.
Oh man, that shit reminds me of whenever we ask Boom fucking sex questions. He's like,
Mr. Boomstick, guys, trying to come on this show. We kind of ask him those awkward questions.
I love it.
Do, and you can almost see him getting red, like
to
get around it. Or when he gets angry on his own shows and he starts to swear and he gets into an epic rant, and you're just kind of like, yeah.
Yes, I'm like, do it.
Mr. Nice Guy going off the fucking deep end. It's hilarious. Love it. Yeah. Titan Drago, baby. How will you want to go
out? In my sleep. In my sleep.
There you go.
All day. Crash out, never wake up. Okay. Hopefully I'm having a good dream.
Yeah. No shit. That was simple. All right, he wants to go out and sleep.
Oh man,
that was great. I wasn't expecting that simple answer to take.
I gotta change it up every now and then.
Right? Like, okay.
I can't yell at everything. I'm gonna go out yelling.
All right. Sit.
He got a microphone in his fucking castle. Yeah.
All right.
I want to go out destroying some ponies, some fanboys.
Titan goes out with a fucking fly swatter, whapping some little ponies. Like, goddamn ponies.
I wouldn't want to do that because then that would give them like justification or satisfaction. So no, I don't want to go out like that.
Oh fuck. Primal, how you going out?
Well, of course, having like the ultimate orgasm and just being done with it would be fantastic. I would absolutely love this. But my daughter actually made a point to me the other day. I came home and I said, like, oh my God, I feel like I'm just about to die. And she said, no, because you have too many games to play. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I need to finish every single game that I have to completion. And then I'm I'll go to sleep. that sounds really good.
Oh, well, yeah, going out in your sleep is great. How about myself? Boy, I don't know. Well, obviously, yes, I guess you could go with the simple answer. If I could go out in any particular way that I ever would like to go out, yeah, I'd definitely like to go out, obviously, having sex with the biggest, hardest boner I've ever had in my life. But personally, I would like it to be with a fucking celebrity that I've always wanted to do it. And if I could do it, I'd do it on the fucking moon in zero gravity, upside down, fucking heave ho, and out you go, look at the earth and say, sayonara, bitches. That's how Noof would go out. There you go.
I'm out. And fireworks in the back.
Hey, wouldn't it be awesome if I actually went out while I was doing it and a nuclear bomb went
Oh
off?
my
Because it'd be pretty
God.
instantaneous,
Yes.
but that would be like poetic for Noof Nuke, right? Like kaboom, and that's it.
Yep, that's the last.
With white doves in the background, white doves coming out.
I look over, just I'm about to come. You see the big white flash. Oh fuck! I guess we ain't having babies. That's for sure.
It's just all I see is kaboom and like
kaboom, kaboom is gone.
I mean, kaboom when you finish or after?
Oh fuck! Well, I hope I'm finished
no, it's
before the
gonna be
boom.
during. It's gonna be that last shot, kaboom.
Yeah,
kaboom.
I'm coming. Wiped off the fucking planet.
That one little mushroom cloud in Canada.
Could you imagine it, like having sex in space and pulling out and just watching your jizz float through the fucking...
Oh my god!
It's gonna get on the window. You gotta catch it all.
Oh, every little droplet. Holy shit!
Fuck. Primal swinging around. Primal swinging. Fucking boob sweat going everywhere.
Homo bouncing titties. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's fucking awesome.
I hope EA does my sweat.
Hey, has anybody done? Probably you've seen all those porn movies. Has anybody done a porn like that yet? Because that would be fucking hilarious. Emulate in space.
Absolutely.
You've seen that shit. I gotta go rent that shit. Huh?
I'll hook you up later. If you guys need porn, I'll find it for you.
Could you imagine the Matrix would be like a Neo dude and somebody's coming and he's like holding his hand out and all the
my god,
all the sperms like stopping in midair.
And he fucking dodges that shit. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Smith is called Mr. Queef, and he's just like, I'm gonna get you, Neo. Yeah, I'm going to multiply.
That's my favorite movie, so I could just picture it.
It's not the Oracle, it's the Horacle. She says everybody coming.
Shit.
Oh boy. Anyway, guys, this has been fucking one of the craziest, fucked up, amazing shows in a while. The Noof Nukem 10 megaton payload. Well, first of all, let everybody get out of here. Let Primal get some fucking sleep. All right, we'll let Titan Drago go back to cooling off, wiping his brow sweat away, and all that shit. So we're gonna get to we want to thank our guest here for putting up with us today. He was awesome. Yungest, thank you for being here, brother. You did a great job tonight. You didn't sound nervous at all. Hopefully everybody enjoyed your take on gaming. Sorry if I didn't let you talk more, but I'll have you back in the future, guaranteed. So go ahead, man. Let people know where they can find you so you can kind of build this shit and grow your name in the community.
As of right now, it's just on Twitter, Yungest02. I mean, I follow all of you guys and just try to keep up. I just appreciate you inviting me, taking me on. You guys made me feel relaxed, and like you said, I hope I could come back on, and I enjoyed it. Thank you.
I have a question for you. Are you going to keep your kids from not listening to this podcast?
Oh,
I know. When you said, if you're listening from the beginning to this already, it might be a little too late.
Man. At first, I was like, it's not too bad. But right now, I'm thinking, like, you know what? Dad never made it on.
Yeah.
Dad's mic cut out halfway through. Yeah,
they canceled the show.
Yeah, the internet was down. I couldn't log in. I'm sorry.
Bad for my kid. Poor girl.
All right, let's get over to our other amazing guest who dropped in short notice today, but I'm super excited that he was here. Whenever Titan's around, it's going to be lit. Titan Drago, where can people find you, baby? And drop that famous line for all these people that need to hear that.
Yeah, everything at Titan Drago, everybody. Once again, my channel's down for the professional reasons. I'm a teacher now. Might have a student that I teach that knows who I am, so I gotta hold that down for a little bit. But anyways, yeah, I'll be on Wilmy Hood's podcast tomorrow night.
Nice.
And
Nice.
you know, couple more things. Like everything starts with a group of consistency, right? Like everything big starts with something small and consistent. And every time I come on here, there is a consistent group of awesome people in the chat. And you know what? That's all you need to really blow up. And now we're just waiting for others to find out this podcast. And you know, that'll happen in time. And it helps with hitting that like button. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and do that. Noof definitely deserves it. I love podcasting with Noof and Primal. Awesome. Didn't get to catch you last time, but it's great catching up with you on this one. Yes. And the youngest, you remind me of my best friend in the Navy, Wowney G. You know, maybe Wowney will hear this podcast and then reunite someday. That'd be awesome. But anyways, everything at Titan Drago, everybody. Until next time, let's bring the common back to sense.
Yeah, first time I heard Yungest speak to me tonight before we actually started the show, you kind of remind me of Eternal Shaddai, who I've had on this show a few times. And he was in the chat earlier tonight. I'm not sure if I gave him a shout out or not. But yeah, he sounded a bit like Eternal Shaddai. He was cool dude. So that's a compliment to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. And to my amazing co-host, who I'm still fucking in awe. She made the whole show. She didn't sound like her whole body was in a coma tonight. Right? She was awesome. I'm just kidding, Primal. You always sound amazing. No, but I'm just happy you made a whole show and you were lively and right into it, and it's fantastic. You're back at Prime Forum tonight, people. I love it. And of course, our guests and our people in the chat love it when you're like that too. So tell people where they can find you, guys. Let's get this lady to 1,000 followers on Twitter. How the fuck is she not at 1,000 followers already? Is beyond me. She's one of the coolest ladies in the whole fucking gaming community, and if we had another dozen like her, it'd be even better. There's only one like Primal, and I got her. I'm pretty happy about that. But hey, imitation's good, right? So, but we definitely need more girls that are out there and not afraid to tell it like it is. So you tell them like it is, Primal. Where can people find you?
First of all, I would love to have another dozen of me, because then I would go fuck myself. But I just want to do a quick thanks to the panel, Yungest. It was really nice meeting you and chatting with you on here. It was super awesome. Titan, I absolutely love talking to you in podcast. You're so exciting. You get me excited, and then it's fantastic. You're definitely one of my favorite people to chat with. And Noof,
thank you.
You're awesome. You're the one that found me randomly. So I just wanted to, it really was random. But, and also a quick thank you to the chat. You guys are super, super, super awesome. A lot of you have even been there with me since the game dosage, which was over 2 years ago. Holy shit. Yeah. Wow. But yeah, if you guys would like, you can follow me on Twitter at Primal Eve, and I'm also on the Xbox, also Primal Eve, and then I am on the PlayStation, but you're probably not going to see me on there to play multiplayer games, so I wouldn't even try it.
Yeah, before you go, you might want to catch what Dazzy said, because that's fucking
oh my god. I told you, Daz, that my stomach was once an orphanage, and there's been plenty of yeah. I'll end it there.
Oh fuck! Fucking Dazzy, what? You're awesome, Daz. That's fucking hilarious, man. There you go, Daz at Prime fucking Forum at what? Fucking 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, whatever it is over there. God damn. Good for him. And thanks for everybody for being here. You're fantastic. And you guys know where to find me. Always in the gutter. It's Noof Nukem. I'm Noof Nukem pretty much everywhere. It's Noof Nukem on Xbox. It's Noof Nukem 76 on PlayStation. If you want to hang out, play some games. If you guys didn't know by now, I do community game nights on the weekend. As a matter of fact, this weekend I'm going to try to get more of our UK friends in on it. So we're going to be doing, and this one, hey, Titan, if you're around, you might want to hook up on this one. We're going to be doing Call of Duty Modern Warfare on Sunday afternoon, and this one's going to go down at 11 Mountain Time. That would be like 1 o'clock Eastern, and that's like 6 o'clock, I think, 5 o'clock.
I will actually, I might be joining you on this one.
There you go, guys.
It's early enough in the day. I'm not the best player, but I'll show you some stuff.
All right, it's gonna be a private match. No matter your talent level, how good or how bad you are, we have fun. We talk shit. We have fun. Titan can attest to that. We've done community game nights before, and they're absolutely a blast. We switched the teams up, so everybody's having a good time, and we're guaranteed a good time on Sunday. So make sure you show up for that, guys. Let's get a record crowd. Make sure you add all these people on Xbox, PlayStation, whatever it is. It's going to be on Xbox though, because that's where most of my friends are. So yeah, but it's going to be early. So like I said, all of our UK friends are constantly telling me, "Noof, it's too late in the evening when you do these things." So go do it on Sunday. Most people ain't doing shit on Sunday except for eating turkey dinners or probably telling their kids to go to the fucking room and stay there, something like that. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you all at Cybergunter. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys there on Sunday. But again, community game day, community game night. They're fantastic. You should be a part of it. Very few people are doing it. I might even be one of the only people that kind of organizes it. Seems like an M, but yeah.
I believe you are. To be honest, I don't.
Isn't that amazing?
Doing it.
With all of the people and all these podcasts and all the community, and you got one out of thousands of people that seems to be trying to organize something that's just weird. Right?
Gaming brought us together, so we should be gaming together. You know what I mean? Like that's
absolutely. Back in the day, I had no problem getting 6 or 7 people over to my house. Mind you, they probably wasn't to play a game. Maybe it was for the pizza and shit. But hey, I'd share some pizza with you too if I could, but I can't figure out a way to get that to work on Xbox Live. Slinky M, thanks for being here, brother. How are you? All right. Again, Yungest, thanks for being here, brother. You're fantastic. We'll get you back as a guest here sometime soon. And guys, let me know what you think of Yungest, how he was tonight. So far, we got lots of positivity in the chat. Again, we got a few more people to guest over the next couple of weeks before we make a final decision. So we'll see how it goes. But there you go. That's the end of the show. Everybody have yourself a great night. We'll see you soon.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.